Yo, what's up? This is comedian Shang, and you're listening to Savage AF on Dash Comedy. Stop playing. Get at it.
We savage.
As what?
We savage.
As what?
Savage.
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 Savage?
Savage.
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 As fuck. What's going on? This is Shang. This is Savage as fuck. I'm Shang.
I'm Black Pedro.
Yo, we in the house. I want to let you know we had a little hiatus. We was on. I was on the road, and you know, Pedro was in prison.
I was
so,
high.
Yeah,
I was the high in hiatus.
Yeah, he was high in hiatus. So
call that vacation.
We was away for a little bit, but no, we back. And the show we reran was a hot show, so we're not worried about that. So
hot show.
Yeah, it was a hot show. So I wanted to make sure you guys know. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the support on the Facebook page, making us go to 1,000 people that quickly, and
So
then
quick.
going to almost 2,000 people. Thank you. Also, make sure you check us on social media. All right,
Yeah.
Mine is comedian Shang.
I'm at Black Pedro on Instagram. Follow me there.
Right, and we got some shows coming up. We're going to talk about that, but we got two guests in the house. We got a young gun in the game, a young a comic that smells like Infamil a little bit, but he's young, but he's doing his thing coming out of New York. And we got a
sweet titty
vet
milk.
that I done known for a long time.
It smells like mumble rap.
The sweet smell of baby breath. So, but no, we fucking with you. So it's we got a veteran that you've seen in movies, television, HBO, and we bringing them to you here on Dash Radio. Make sure you download the app. Don't fuck around. Download the app. Dash Radio so you can hear Dash Comedy. Now we air Wednesdays. Ready? Listen carefully.
Write this shit down.
Write it down.
For all you slow
7
motherfuckers.
to 9, and then we'll repeat it Friday, 7 to 9 p.m.
That's PM.
Super easy.
Pacific Standard Time.
Really easy. And if you can't get that, then you're frighteningly stupid and you shouldn't listen to this fucking show.
Or you can just follow us on Facebook.
Or follow us on Facebook, and it'll have all the information on there. And if you don't do it,
or download the podcast on iTunes.
download the
you know what I'm
podcast
saying?
on
Follow us
iTunes,
there.
which will be the following Monday. Okay,
Yeah.
the following Monday. And Black Pedro, please do the honors with our guest. We got our honored guest, and I've known this cat for a long time. So you go ahead, but I know this motherfucker forever.
I mean,
and I love his hat.
Yeah,
you can't see his hat, but you will on social media.
Feel it. You gonna feel that
hat is
motherfucker in a minute.
I got to get one of those. So go ahead.
I mean, almost needs no introduction, man. You know, we've known this cat for years, wrecking the stage. Acclaimed actor.
Shouldn't you do the lesser known comic first and then end on a crescendo?
And then end with that? You want,
yeah,
okay, let's do that.
I don't use the word crescendo that much, but fuck it.
Because then it's going to be anticlimactic.
No, I get what you're
Yeah, it's
saying.
like, all right, well,
you know, my thought was, sort of respect to the game first, like
No,
the
you
veteran
put
go
the
first.
babies
But I
up
get you.
first.
Okay,
Put
no, I
the
get you.
young
you know,
ones.
but
not like a comedy show.
But he's really
not
not like that, so you'll see in a minute.
No, that's good.
I
Okay.
know, I'm just
So
fucking-
rewind everything I just said. Y'all don't know shit about this motherfucker right here, but that don't mean you won't. Very funny cat coming up in the game, works the clubs all over town, gets around this country.
New York
Give it up
City.
for the very young Mr. Jason Scoop. Yo,
Hey,
I love that name.
how we
Jason
doing?
Scoop.
Hi, I'm the lesser known comic. How are you, everybody?
He speaks so good for his age. You know what I'm saying?
You weren't the person you said good, not well.
He speaks so good.
Did you say
I'm also from Detroit.
not well?
I'm also from Detroit. I'm from the east
this
side
is
of
the
Detroit.
infant,
No, but yeah, what was the contest you won?
the mumble rapper. That shit sells, by the way. Jesus, man, you fucking mumble.
The mumble rap. Oh, no, I mean, what was the you won the contest? You won the contest, which is actually a big contest. Even though guy, you're like, yeah,
He's talking
contest
his
is for
shit. It's all
contest is
good.
like eating a bag of dicks. It's bullshit. It's
all
fucking
good.
like
We're
one
gonna
dick
unpack
at a
all
time.
that. We're going to unpack
We're gonna
all
unpack
that.
the
Okay,
whole
but no, I
suitcase.
mean, tell them what you did.
Yeah. So yeah, I do celebrity impersonations, and I got the honor of getting to do the Dana Carvey show. He had an impression contest on USA.
Awesome.
And yeah, I won that shit. And yeah, man.
He won that shit, and now he's thinking about moving out to
impressions did you
LA.
do?
I did. Oh God, all of Obama,
How
Trump,
many?
Bush, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy,
Cat
I don't know how many.
Williams was-
Cat Williams. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No, yeah, all that shit. Yeah, you know, won a little money, $10,000. That shit was gone in a month.
That's all right.
That shit was
won.
gone in a month. You know how like drug addicts are like, oh man, I won that 100,000. What all went up my nose? I'm like a firework addict.
Oh no.
And my $10,000 went up in the sky and exploded. That's where my $10,000
Wow.
fucking
Our
dollars went.
child.
Yeah,
I am a
WPS.
hello.
See what that mumble rap does to your
That's
brain?
that WPS. That's that white people shit.
That's right, baby.
All right, so that voice you just heard is our veteran in the game.
Yeah, he talk. Yeah,
We call him the headliner of the radio show today.
I guess you the headliner.
Yeah, he's
Fuck it, you the headliner.
He's the crescendo.
headlining savage as fuck today, coming to the mic, y'all. Y'all known him from stages for decades now.
All kind of shit. The movie Life.
Acclaimed actor from the movie Life.
American,
American History X.
One of the hardest movies out I've seen.
One of my faves.
It's black and white, but you can still see the red of the blood in that fucking movie when he curved that motherfucker's mouth. And he was also in that movie. Like, that's crazy, man, that you did. It's so that you still do stand up and you're still doing that. But go ahead, I mean, that's I love what see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't hear you, but put your hands together and make some noise for Mr. Guy.
Torry.
Yes, it is Geek Torry in the place to be. Got kicked out of Trump University.
Hey.
Rah! That's the old school
The old
hip-hop. Rah! The 80s style rapper.
The 80s style
Rah! Man.
Get ready, and
Good to meet you, man. Good to meet you, young
It is
fella,
a pleasure
man.
to meet you
and,
as
and
well.
here's the thing, and y'all know this because y'all are vets as well, man. But you know when we have young comics, up and coming comics, we love to haze you a little bit because the
And
thing
I
about it
embrace
is
it.
when I go on the road and I meet young comics from other cities and they come to Green Room, I immediately just start hazing them, and
Yeah.
they like that, and they walk out like, I used to be a fan, but he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But what it is getting you ready for LA because a lot of times, man, we stand outside of comic clubs on the sidewalk and that's how you earn your stripes.
Yeah. I don't-
Tear
I don't
your
take
ass
no
up.
offense. I don't take-
No, you took it well. Some guys get sensitive, so don't take it personal. It's love. If we ain't fucking with you, we ain't
Right.
joking with you, we don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, and like you can't have a little bitch skin. That's what I'm saying.
Comedy is
You
not
can't have
for the
sensitive bitch-
sensitive. It's
Yeah.
not for the.
But although we are sensitive though.
Yeah.
I mean,
deep
of
down,
course, of course.
I'm not sensitive about comedy though. I've really never been.
No, but we sensitive. We're
sensitive
people.
human beings.
Yeah.
But on stage, I can give a fuck. I'll say whatever. I'll talk about kicking babies down steps. I don't really.
I get fucked till I start bombing. Then like, oh shit.
Oh shit!
It's
I apologize.
Oh, shit,
Then you start pulling out start juggling and shit.
Right,
And,
yeah.
like, did that motherfucker start playing the drums? Yeah.
I was bombing so bad one time, man. It was a room full of white people. I was like, I couldn't think of my shit. And I was like,
All the whiteness blinded your thoughts.
And I said, what y'all want to talk about? Do something. Call me a nigga or something. So bad I was bombing, man. It's like I gave them permission to call me a nigga. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
And then afterwards, you go, did I let them call me a nigga?
They didn't do
Were
it,
you
of
surprised how quickly they did? No.
right.
No,
Just came out like-
guy told us. He's really good.
What took so long?
Thank God.
You're one of the ones that let us.
I've been holding my breath.
No, but I think that comedy wise, like I always thought the reason I like what I liked about the fact you would do a movie and still do stand up.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's like when you see, honestly, when you see like Kevin Hart, people were talking about Kevin Hart. Why is he touring doing stand up? He
'Cause he
doesn't need
loves the
to
game.
because he loves it. If you look at even Mike Epps or even these guys,
D.L. Hughley.
It got you
D.L.
in the
Hughley
game.
got
Kevin
two
Hart
He's
still
shows.
a
fucking
gym
killing
rats.
it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a movie star. How many movie stars are out there every day putting out Instagram content,
Yeah.
doing sketches
Yeah.
with other younger
So,
dudes?
I mean,
it's
because,
incredible.
but stand up wise though, I mean,
Yeah.
no, I mean sketches and stuff. But I'm saying there's a lot of comics that you think they're gonna leave stand up because they're already like multi-gazillionaires.
Yeah.
and then motherfuckers still do stand up.
But the ones who have kind of left and try to come back, they're stuck in where they
The
left,
fame, yeah.
and they
Right.
did blow up. They did blow up in the movie world, but then they're stuck in where they left, that era where they left, and it's like, wow, you know, because you stop exercising that muscle and you can't,
Right.
because comedy is always
Right.
evolving and changing. If you're not in the clubs seeing what the young guys are doing or
Right.
where comedy has evolved to, you're stuck in your same. You become the get off my lawn, you young whippersnapper. You become that old motherfucker.
Or you
stuck
start
in,
doing like Michael Jackson impressions.
Do you think? Do you think some of them? Do you think some of them get?
Nah, I know. Like, no, I saw like Chris Tucker. I'm like, motherfucker, don't. Michael's. I mean, he's an icon, and I understand that. But if you like, that's like to me, like somebody doing a really really old impression.
It depends on if you upgrade it or not. You know what I'm saying? It
Like you
depends
have to
on if-
upgrade
yeah.
it to what's going
The
on. Like
premise,
the
you gotta
bitch
write
you
the
did, the
premise.
Cosby bitch you did. Matter
Because
because
he's going to jail now.
He's going
and
to
do a
jail.
whole bit about him doing stand up in jail.
I hate comics who do impersonations. because I can't do
Oh,
it.
see, now it's an all-out
I can't-
war now.
No,
I take the gun out of
No,
my back
this is what he
pocket.
said, though.
because I can't do it, and I'm
Exactly.
jealous. I think that's a skill I wish I
Right.
had, man.
Yeah.
I can't even do me.
I've always I've been comics do impressions always get hate from the beginning
No,
of impressions.
No.
They've just
I love
that's
it.
always been the case.
No.
The thing is,
Jay Farrow's doing really.
It's a great
Right.
skill.
But that's
Jay
all
Farrow's
Jay
doing. The
Farrow
thing
does.
is, though,
I
yeah.
just saw him battle Marlon Wayans. Was it Marlon? He battled on that show.
But I do want to hear his
Really
side
good.
of why you all get
My thing,
hate.
yeah. Well, the
It's
thing
jealousy,
is,
by the
no,
way.
it's not just
Yes, it
jealousy.
is.
It's also a lot of comics do impressions. I even judge a little bit because the impression makes the joke. The impression does not make the joke. The joke makes the impression. There's got to be a
Absolutely.
great joke, and the impression just has to work seamlessly into it.
I don't think. See,
Exactly.
I don't
That's
think.
how it
I don't
should
think.
go. You're
I don't
right.
think most impressionists approach it like that.
They
and
don't.
which it's
Right.
so like impressionists get treated like guitar comics sometimes, where it's like
Yeah.
they use it as a prop. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they're not actually writing. It's just they're using this thing to distract you from the non-writing.
Right,
But
right,
I could
right.
already hear that if you're doing Cosby doing bits in jail now,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Right,
like you
right.
said, like Guy said, you've updated it.
I'm gonna
And-
start.
and you're
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna
you know
start
what I'm saying?
thinking I'm a impressionist rights.
Yes.
Fucking.
Right.
We're
But I-
comedians too.
Yeah, it's a skill I wish I had.
Impressionist lives matter.
And
Now,
I
be
commend,
careful.
I commend you, cats. I commend you, cats.
I don't be careful. There's.
Yeah.
But
There's
no,
no
like
careful.
I'll give you example.
That's what I'm talking about,
But
homie.
I give you example pertaining to a lot of comics. Like you said it perfect. A lot of old school. I'm an old school comic. A lot of comics, what they do is they stop working forward.
Right.
They just go, yeah, but I remember that joke I did before.
Do you,
know?
Do you
and they
guys also
it.
think they get like caught up in like their brand now? Like depending on how big they might be, like they're worried about exposing.
But that happens to almost a lot of artists. It's just you gotta, and the key word is artist. I think a true artist
He's gonna find
would
ways.
take chances.
Yeah.
Like Kanye, he just went a little bit too fucking far. but he's an
Kanye's out
artist.
of his fucking mind.
Yeah,
No,
but I think he
ain't
missed.
giving him a pass.
I give him a little bit of a
Fuck
pass.
that dude.
Because listen. Because I think he missed the mark. I think he tried
Yeah.
something. But I give him kudos for trying.
Trying what? He said slavery was
Was a
sound like
choice.
a
I think he
choice.
was trying to
I
say-
think those slaves were like, man, I want to go into accounting. They didn't fucking want to do that.
It's a way you do it because I get away with saying some of the most fucked up shit, man. But I get away with it because I'm a comic and we kind of have that license.
Right, we do, but he don't.
Like
It
I
has
did
to
a
be
joke.
funny.
Yeah, it has to be funny. It's like
Even if you're a
yesterday,
comedian and you say something fucked up,
Right.
it's not funny. It's
right?
not, you're not
And
gonna get away
Kanye's
with
never
it.
been funny. He's a
Never
talented
funny.
artist, but he's never
I
been
mean,
funny.
he's funny, haha.
Right.
He's not
No,
like,
he's funny. Like, look at that
like,
crazy
yeah.
motherfucker looking the window.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh, that Kanye.
Right.
He's so funny.
Because I did a joke yesterday on Tom Jonah morning show, which you can hear me every Monday and Wednesday. Tom Jonah morning show. Plug
Congratulations on that young man.
But I did a joke talking about the Celtics, and then, I'm a Laker fan, and
Mm.
I was telling the Cavalier fans that Cavaliers, y'all need to do something and not let these motherfuckers win because
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Celtics with another fucking ring. I said I'd rather see Trump in a re-election before I see Celtics with another fucking ring.
The thing is,
And
you
the-
can make
the board
anything
lit up.
palatable as long as it's funny.
Exactly.
Like when I was at Caroline's on Broadway, Michael Che was on stage.
He's
and
funny as
And
fuck,
he just
too,
ran. He just said wasn't even a fan. He just said, "Yeah, I seen a guy visibly gay." This chick goes, "What do you mean, visibly gay?" And then he looks at her like, "I grew up
That's
in New
funny,
York.
though.
I know gay people. Sometimes they are visibly gay."
Yeah.
So then he goes, "I've seen visibly gay children." Now the whole crowd. Now it just went from that one lady to the
Right.
whole crowd being like, But then he won him back with humor. He goes,
Yeah.
"Have you ever seen the Great Bake Off Challenge Juniors?" And they were all like, "Oh fuck, he's right, man.
Yeah.
Oh, can we curse on this?"
Yeah.
I already started.
Yeah.
There's
and they
gay
were all
children.
like, "Fuck, he's right." You know?
When you do a joke and you bring facts into it.
Right.
You can't argue with facts unless you're the Trump administration. You can't argue facts. I used to do a
No,
joke.
unless you're 33% of the country.
Well, yeah,
those
them
motherfuckers.
fucks. Anyway, when Tracy Moore got into that trouble with saying
Faggot.
dropping the F-bomb, saying faggot,
Dirty
right?
Rock, we call it Dirty
Right.
Rock.
I did that joke and I dropped the F-bomb too, but when I dropped why I said it and why I was upset, then the gays who were in the audience and people who didn't like that I said fag would like, once I dropped facts on them, they had to stop because if you remember that joke, what he said was, if my son was gay, I would stab the little faggot to death, right? So I was saying what got me upset in real life was the fact that they want him to lose his job, all that stuff because he said faggot. And I'm like, well, what about What about the stabbing of the son? Because it's a little black kid, y'all didn't give a fuck about it.
Right.
I said, what was social services? What was the uproar about the child abuse or him not accepting his son? And they couldn't say shit because those are facts. You were picketing over a fucking word. But what about the deeper issue? If you want to say, well, that's not a joke. It was a joke, but the whole thing was a joke.
Yeah.
So don't go in about the word,
word.
not going about the little black dead kid letting that bleed.
I'm gonna tell you why, because faggots is mad sensitive. No, like a lot of sugar smacks ass dudes. They sugar smack.
Sugar smack ass. Is that what you said?
But once I said that, they had to rear back and like, oh shit, you're right.
I know that somebody gonna be like, I was listening to Savage is fucking. He just said faggots are sensitive. I'm not gonna listen anymore. Then that means you sensitive, bitch. Be sensitive with your bitch ass and go choreograph some shit or design some clothes.
Now you're stereotyping.
Yeah.
I just think anybody who
just
writes a
generalize.
blog is a terrible
I know
person.
I know some gay dudes that beat the brakes off.
Oh yeah, there's some
Like,
NFL
there's
players,
some UFC,
NBA
there's some
players,
UFC
MLB
fighters.
players. Oh yeah.
When they
Oh,
get
yeah.
you down, the ground and pound ain't what they mean. They ain't trying to ground and pound. They trying to get you down on the ground and pin you for
God
like
bless
3.
them, man. Hey, what you do, as long as you're doing it legal, whatever, I don't care.
Long as you ain't fucking like kids.
Yeah.
Like if you
care.
fucking kids, that's but if you fucking another grown man, and that's the grown man said that's
what
cool.
turns you on. That's
Yeah.
what turns you on.
Yeah,
That's what
like,
it is.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't like when they throw glitter at me. I hate that shit. Don't be throwing glitter at me,
I
man.
It's
love
called
it.
fairy dust.
I love it.
See, we gonna get there. Yeah, but fuck it, it's savage as fuck. I don't give a
I'm
shit.
unfiltered, so,
yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to be. Now, make sure again, I want to let y'all know you're listening to Savage as Fuck on Dash Radio Dash Comedy. Make sure you download the app. Go to the App Store. Make sure you download it. Also, follow us all on social media. Mine is comedian Shang on Instagram and Twitter. What's
I'm
yours?
at Jason Scoop on everything across the board.
Okay,
At Guy Torry, GUYTORRY on everything.
everything.
On Instagram, y'all, that's all I do. That's how I live, at Black Pedro.
Black Pedro, yeah, but your Twitter too. You got to make sure your Twitter because
Pedro-
Twitter's still viable.
That's Pedro is funny. But I just linked my Instagram to my Twitter.
Oh, you did,
And
yeah.
I'm lazy about my
Same,
social media.
same.
I can tell you ain't shaved. You rolled out of bed. You didn't get dressed.
deodorant.
With fucking
These are
We
my
got Jeff in
pajamas,
the
y'all.
house. It's Jeff Comedy Jam. That's
You.
No,
Yes,
seriously.
Jeff Comedy.
I like
Jeff,
that.
we're doing a show. I want to make sure everybody
May
know you got to
22nd.
jump in on the mic. We're doing a show at the Sycamore Lounge of the Dojo. It's called the
Comedy Dojo.
Dojo.
Comedy
You're gonna be
Dojo.
whooping ass up in there too?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fight and then you do some jokes.
That's the comedy, the
Oh, it's
comedy judge. Sorry, the dojo comedy at the Sycamore Tavern in Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood.
Yes, and it'll be actually next Tuesday,
The 22nd.
We got Camilla.
My roommate Camilla Cleese,
Yep.
Robert Zapata, Shang,
Rob, yes.
Yeah.
I know
Black
Shang.
Pedro.
I heard of
Yep.
Shang before.
Pedro.
you
you heard of Shang before? You heard?
I
of
heard
him?
that shit.
That
He's
nigga,
a-
I heard he's funny.
He's a light-skinned, angry motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason.
No, for no reason, just
For
mad.
no reason.
And who else on the show? Let 'em-
Sasha Patwell, and then
And you.
me. I'm hosting. It's gonna be a good show.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good
I
show.
heard of that Jeff dude before too, but that Shang motherfucker, he just
It's-
angry. And I heard the Shang dude. He don't even like other light skinned people. Like, dude, you're beige too. Y'all off in Beijing.
Because you can't have. We're like magnets. When you put two beige dudes together, you can't. They bounce off each other. So
Man,
yeah,
what
that's
is
why.
it with those beige people?
But I'm gonna tell you right
It's
now,
like khakis fighting each other.
He's Bayesian.
Comedy wise, like I'll give you an example. When we fuck with young comics, but the bottom line is, it's good that the reason I was impressed with this cat is because for a young comic, he does some like you don't see a lot of young comics do political material,
Right.
Or do stuff about politics.
A lot of comics, period. They're
Well, I
afraid of
mean, yeah, we do, but I'm saying
because we don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck about that. But I'm telling you right now, that was one of the things. But we're still gonna give you shit. I mean, yeah,
I love comics, man, because
I welcome it.
you can't be a fan of comedy and not love the young comics that are coming behind you and not want to help and preserve what we've been doing, most of our lives.
And
So-
we're lucky. Like, there's a lot of comics that I started with me that don't get to work the clubs I work.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, there's about 10 black comics that
Man.
work like the Funny Bones and the.
That's more than 10. But
Donate
but
10
it's not-
cents
it's
a
not
month
that-
to a young comic.
I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say there are only 10 who
Not
came
10.
up
No,
with
I'm
you.
saying
It's
that
probably
headline.
it's
No,
less than
that
10%.
headline, There's maybe, but it's a small percentage compared to the rest of the calendar.
No, I disagree with that.
Well, I mean, certain ones like
let me tell you why. I strongly
like certain ones. Like,
yeah, because black comics,
draw.
we work more. We fill the rosters at the improvs and the funny
Right.
bone.
We remodel them.
We open them.
Yeah.
Like when they're opening a new comedy club, for the first few months, they will have black comics because they know, one, black people will come out and support. And they know that's how they train their staff, and that's
Just
how they
like
get the
Fox
word out.
did with when they had Living Color and they had all the shows. They
UPN,
built it up. They built it up. Then they
WB.
said, you know what? Fuck that. We're putting vampires on now.
Hold on, let's go further than that. Let's
That's
get
the
deep.
truth.
No, fuck that. Let's go to America. That's what America did.
Right.
They brought us over here to build this country up, and then once they got on their feet and learned how to run this fucking country,
Right.
they kicked us to the ghetto. Every network does that. Most of them. Fox started out with a lot of black shows.
Well, the fir-
UPN started with a lot of black shows, and the WB. And then once they get their feet wet and like, okay, we don't need these niggas no more. And because when Fox got football, that's when they kicked the niggas off the network. So it's just real. It's art imitates life. So it just doesn't start with the comedy clubs. But we are. I'm tired of being important for only those reasons as a black man. Like I'm tired of being important only every 4 fucking years.
A mascot.
I'm tired of being important when you need a gold medal in the Olympics, NBA, and track and fucking field. If we're
And boxing.
if we can get along, every 4 years, because now we're the United States of America. Why not every fucking day? If it's that easy to turn on and off, why not turn on and off every fucking day?
But
that's my
because
gripe.
you know why? Because you lose power. One, you lose power. You lose the upper hand.
Exactly.
And then you feel like, well, you know what? I'm going to be less now because you know the real deal. You know I actually can run faster than you.
Right.
And you know that I'm racing you with a fucking chain on my leg.
So
And
you
also
think it's
the
a competition
well,
thing,
the
Shang?
use
What
the
you're
use
saying?
It's
absolutely.
insecurity thing.
Yeah.
It's white men. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's white men because the only people who are not minorities, considered minorities,
You're ambiguous.
Or white.
So.
Yeah,
or white. I'm not
When he
dissing
called me
white men.
Caucasian, I was on. I still got that
No.
fucking privilege.
What are
card.
you?
It's not
Jesus,
dissing
man,
white
shit.
men. I'm just laying down facts. It's the fact that I don't use the word minority because there's nothing minor about me. Okay, I'm 5'8", but and I got a little dick too.
Hey.
But there's nothing minor about me. It's a word that's used to keep you feeling
Right.
less than. Because if you the only person who's not a minority is a white man.
Well, let me
Everybody
ask you,
else
how come
are-
nobody ever shits on white women? How come white women are like, we're not
white-
even
no,
white?
they do.
No,
White
white
men do that.
White men shit on. You know why? No. Let me tell you how.
White men definitely shit
White
on
men
them.
shit on white women because black men had the right to vote before white women.
Yeah. They had
A
white
black
women
man
had to
became
couple
president before a white woman.
Yeah.
And Hillary was more qualified than even Obama. And way more qualified. Now Snell is more qualified than Trump. And then the black men, we came from being slaves and being property and having tails to being able to vote, and white women still couldn't vote. We
Right.
live in a sexist ass country in a sexist ass world.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of black people don't empower themselves. So you know that,
Right.
And they
I'm
don't
not
realize.
putting all
Like
on white
when I
people.
go
We
go
got-
to a club, I'm like, no, I got the same credits as that motherfucker. You gonna pay me the same money because I outdraw him. And when I say that,
Right.
they think Shang. Here goes Shang
Yeah.
again. He's being angry. He's being
angry.
shangry.
Yeah, and
Instead of
that's the
asking for
microscope.
basic regular
difficult.
rights, regular shit.
Difficult is
How
the
do you
word
feel,
they
man?
like to use.
How do I feel about what you just said?
Yeah.
About like specifically what?
Yeah, like but
about
you're,
this country, about
yeah.
comedy. I mean, you tour,
About
Yeah.
being white.
right? And about being white. About being white. No. You tour. What do you see when you do clubs and you do as far as the audience and treatment and things like that?
To what you said about how black comics are more of a draw. Yeah, black comics aren't people. Black people come out and support black. White people too, but most.
Right.
Yeah, like Caroline's. Most of the comics who they have headlining Caroline are black because black people come out to support.
We
Black
need to
and
laugh.
Latino though.
And Latino,
No,
yeah,
black
and
and
Latino.
Latino.
And
'Cause
Latinos, yes.
I've looked at when I did Texas, I saw a lot of like Mexican. Yo, dude, I saw you on BET. You're funny.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was stereotype. That was stereotype.
that was fucked.
Yo, you're hey, dude. Hey, what's up?
Hey, bro.
Demigod.
Yeah,
I
that
was like, who let the Mexican guy in? You had
hey,
me fooled
dude.
completely.
No, that's fucked
Yeah.
up. All right, look, anybody that's Latino listens to the show, I apologize. I was out
That
of
was a
line.
choice. Well, why don't you leave the impressions to him? Because he's
He's the impressionist.
Let him do
but
it.
No, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I think a lot of comics, and I'm gonna keep it real, a lot of comics that are black comics, sometimes you just want to get in the game. You just want to be in the room and you'll
Right.
take shit that you normally shouldn't take.
Right.
Especially
Absolutely.
when and like you said, you were just telling me, how the fuck I sell out a room every fucking show, and the comics before me didn't, and it take me 2 years to get back in the bitch.
3 or
and
12.
Yeah, and then the other comic is booked there every year on the dot.
And I'm a person that I don't have an entourage.
Yeah.
I don't cause any problem. I don't have a writer with a whole bunch of bullshit in it.
Right.
All I need is a green room to relax before the show. I don't even drink anymore. So it's like I'm very easy to work with.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
easy to work with.
I don't want a lot of stuff. I do want heroin in the room, though. I mean, let's
For your
be
guests.
real
It's
with
for your
it.
guests.
M&M's and cocaine only, please.
Exactly. That's all. I mean, if
M&Ms
they
and
can't get me
cocaine.
some heroin or some meth, then I won't fucking do the gig.
That's it.
I ain't down. I'm
That's
gonna
what
let
he
you know
means
that.
when he says
Yeah.
they paid well.
It
Oh.
ate
It means they
extremely
had
well.
enough heroin.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got
See
it.
that? Look at my arm. That's
Got it.
Yeah, look at this. That's all.
You got to switch up
Yes.
veins, saying that
I know.
shit's going to get
no,
infected.
That's actually that's
Gone
from
to the
a-
toenails.
You got more
now.
tracks than the Black Beauty Salon.
Oh, here you go.
Get your ass.
Get your ass.
Hey man, so you referenced Guy's hat earlier.
I love Guy's hat. I got to get one of it. See, people right now are saying, "Oh, well, you just being sensitive." Somebody told me I was being a sensitive liberal because I said shit that he actually did.
Right.
But for those who can't, obviously you can't see, his hat does say.
Well, you can see it on social media. We're actually live
and we're
right
live
now.
on Facebook now, but it does say fuck.
It does. He has a fuck Trump
Fuck
hat.
Trump, you know what I'm saying? Well,
Which is-
there's a star where the U would be in,
But
in
it's
fuck.
still-
But it's I think the message is clear.
It was a gift from George Lopez, man, and George Lopez got it from a guy in Orlando.
Right.
He has a social media website.
got
He
his
sells
intro.
the hats, the shirts, political. Forget his political.
But yo, George Lopez, if you watched his last special, he went in on Trump. And
Well, of course, as a Mexican American,
No, but if you look at
special.
Christopher Titus, the way he goes in on Trump and
He's
Trump
doing the
supporters
show.
is
So,
crazy.
yeah, I'm having-
He's a
he's gonna
great
be doing-
guest.
Look, folks, nobody does hats like I do hats. Okay, believe me. Okay, love the radio. I do all the shows. Oh, they love me on the radio. Believe me. The ratings are going to be so high because I did this impression for 30 seconds. Okay, but it's not an impression. It is me. Okay.
Let me ask you a
Stormy,
question.
come here.
Let me ask you a question. When you do impersonations, because I noticed what I noticed is most of you guys will become the person, facial expressions, everything.
Everything.
It's
The
essence.
hands, the
It's,
hands, yeah.
it's essence.
Have to.
People
Yeah.
ask, how do you do it? Do you have a formula? I say, I watch the person
Right.
and I absorb the essence comes first
Got
in
it.
my mind. I become that person, and then the voice and the face, everything just comes.
Right. So
But
it's almost like an out of body experience. You leave your body
Yeah.
and then that person.
Oh, yeah.
It's just dope. How
But then there's other
maybe that's
comics-
what I'm doing wrong because I
Yeah.
just try to look like me and still do everybody else.
It just sounds like
No, I've seen some comics that do impression of a gay dude. So if you do like a gay dude, do you take on that? Do you start like sucking dicks? What do you start doing?
like we said, there are gay dudes that are football players. So,
I know, but I'm talking about
every gay dude
What's
ain't
that? What's that
visibly
actor?
gay.
What's that actor
Visibly
who,
gay.
when he played the
Visibly.
Native American, he went into the forest for a year and fucking just ate shit with his hands? What's that actor? He played Abe
Daniel
Lincoln.
Day-Lewis.
Daniel
Oh,
Day-Lewis.
Daniel
Day-Lewis, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the
He's a
actors
method
like
actor.
that.
Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis of impressionists,
No,
man.
he's
Like,
method. He's
Yeah,
method
Memphis
actor all
impression.
I'm
the
trying to
way.
go paint myself orange, fuck up my hair, fuck a porn star.
No,
Grab
no.
some pussies.
Can you do
Unprotected.
an impression
Talking
of
about
somebody who only does other people? You know, like Daniel Day-Lewis only does.
He's a character actor.
He's a
Bio-
character actor.
yeah.
So
I'm abandoned my child.
No, that's
I feel like
I'm abandoned my boy. No. But
That movie was fucking nuts, by the way. He was fucking insane in that movie.
he
But-
went full retard in that movie.
But I'm gonna tell you
Full
right
time.
now, like I think with comics for us, the best comics I've seen in movies are pretty much doing them. They're doing themselves.
Right.
Like if you, I was lucky enough to meet Eddie Murphy because I mean I know a lot of people already know him and met. When I met him, I was like, no, that's pretty much Eddie.
Yeah.
That's like his persona.
He's a recluse, but like when he gets comfortable around you,
Like
then-
I was
then
around
Eddie
him
is
and I
Eddie,
couldn't
yeah.
believe he was funny
Yeah,
as one.
funny as fuck,
He's
man.
funny as fuck off stage.
Yeah.
Like
Off stage?
off stage. No, I'm talking about
on
just in
stage
general.
too, like not just he doesn't turn it off. Like he's not
he's a funny
He's
person.
just funny, period.
crazy. Oh. Say, damn.
So wait, does this happen often in your life when somebody says a name that you can do,
Nah,
and then you
not
just
at
be
all.
like,
No.
Mama, pass the toast. Like, it's breakfast time, son.
It's because we're on the radio show.
No, you're actually lying.
Yeah.
Nah,
Let me ask you a
Actually,
question.
yeah.
Have you ever done any family members and of your family members?
And then they get mad, 'cause my
upset?
family gets mad when I
that's
make
the thing,
impressions.
man. Like people are like, "Oh, you should talk about your family," but that shit is like, I don't know, it's weird. Like we were
But not
talking
talk about your family, but I mean, done your family.
Impressions.
Let's just put it. I'll put it in this interesting context.
Got it.
You called me Caucasian before, and that's great that I look Caucasian because I would have been
Did
in
I
a
call-
lot
I
of
don't think I
trouble
called
throughout
you
my
Caucasian.
life if I didn't look so white. But
Right.
my mother, she's from Trinidad and Tobago. She's West Indian, right?
So is mine.
So she's
All right,
mixed.
look,
she's like
look.
Indian,
Hey,
black.
look,
She's
yeah.
a
What you
whole
see? What
fucking
you see right
blender
here?
of shit.
Black
Yeah, man.
Pedro.
Trini,
What-
baby. And she always says, she's like, you can't do a Trini accent. She's like, I can do all these fucking impressions. She's like, you can't get down
And I'm like, well, what
It's
the
hard.
hell is
It's-
the reasoning
it's
behind
nuanced.
that?
You know, I think
so
it's because
strange.
we hear the Jamaican accent so much here in America.
Right.
It's a bad
So it's
Jamaican
like-
accent,
and
too.
it's like so it's like
Like,
but
Wataguan
the
Warrior.
I
the
suck
Trini
at that
accent the
Wataguan.
Trini accent is like
It's
more
sing-song. It's
sing-songy.
sing-song.
Yeah, that's how we
It's
always say it. So
singing
it's
up
like
and down and singing.
it's like
Wait, try.
like my
Yeah, try
grandfather
one.
did. Well, Pedro, by your free paper burn up. Like he would always say have these
Well,
sayings.
okay,
It's like,
I'll do a quick. There's this Trinidadian comic I found online, and I'll just do one line because I was
They got
sitting at
computers over
YouTube.
yeah, barely. No, it's my cousin. Their
And I
electricity
was
will be out for
trying
a
to
week.
went to the
imitate
embassy.
this one line he said, and he's like, "Stand up on the right hand side of the father," and it's like, but it's still my mom. I think it's good, but then my mom's like, "No."
You got heckled by your mom, man.
Oh yeah,
When you get heckled by your mother, that's some
Pretty much
extra
that.
shit right
That's
there.
some extra
It's
shit.
like
my mom is so fucking sweet. She's like I did an amateur night at the Apollo. I think I was like 21 or 22. She's like, "There's no way anybody would." See, once again, I'm not even doing her voice because I'm not gonna fight. She's like, "There's no way anybody would boo a child. You're a child.
Shit.
You're my child." I'm
Shit.
like, "Okay, mom."
I didn't
I
name
almost
him
wanted to
Shang.
get booed to spite her to be like, "See, mom."
I've seen a gospel choir get booed on Apollo. How you boo Jesus, I don't
They
know.
booed
Yeah.
Lauren Hill, but she
Yeah.
came back. She was
I
like
heard that. Is
13.
this true? I heard they booed Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he tells that story. A
Is
lot
that
of people
true?
got booed. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Jamie, when I first met Jamie, that motherfucker's talented on like different level talented. But
Booed- I think
Apollo
Steve
don't give a
Harvey's- they don't
fuck
give a
about
fuck,
that.
man. You saw my jacket I wore here. in
I was
Harlem, man.
lucky. When I did Apollo 5 times, and I
done
was
it
so lucky.
once.
I got booed. They started booing me because I had on white Nikes. I had it with a white swoosh, and somebody
they
said,
were-
"Look at
That's
this
why they
nigga!"
booed you?
Like, look at this nigga with the nurse shoes on.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then,
as shit.
and
They
then,
wear-
and
they
then,
wear
but then
shell toes.
I was like shooting the TV show, and then I just said, I'm not going, and I just started going in on him, and I started killing, but I started cussing, so I
Right.
knew I saw the light come on,
But,
like.
but the
I-
thing about it is you gonna save your ass. That's
Yeah,
right.
I
You did the
saved
right
my
thing.
ass.
Fuck that.
And then the lady that jumps up in the front, and she
The
always
old
jump up in the
bitch?
front.
No, that one
And I said,
I think she
baby,
dead
you
now,
still
but
got
she a
Keith
dead old
Sweat,
bitch.
ball sweat on your face.
Right. The thing with the-
Because Keith Sweat was before me, and I was like, and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
And the guy I came up stage, he said, "You know you're never gonna tape this show again, motherfucker." I was like,
Why
"Hey,
you sound
man."
like Paul Mooney when you said it? Was Paul Mooney working?
He
there?
sounded like, listen, nigga.
Listen, like
White people.
No, but no,
The
he
thing with the Apollo is because I've also done it a bunch of times, and
done it once.
it's
I'm batting
just
1,000.
like kind of like American Idol, how they bring in people who stink just
Right.
for the entertainment value.
Right.
So they also order it so that they a lot of times they know the comic is going to get booed, so
Right.
they'll put they'll place the comic just at the right, but they'll like this person's going to kill it.
Right.
This person's hot. Then we'll put up the comic. Once they got to know me and invited me back a couple times, they put me in a good spot. They gave me a couple
the sweet
tips.
spot.
The sweet spot. And I actually made it. It was amateur night. Then after amateur night is the show off. And then there's top dog. If you make it past top dog, you go on to the championship at the end of the year. I made it to top dog. So
Now-
That was
I
good.
made an Apollo comeback.
Now, where are you from? Like, where?
New York. New York.
What part of New York?
Grew up in Long Island.
Long Island.
Yes,
Okay. And you
yes.
started doing comedy in the local clubs in Long Island. What's your story?
Okay.
Yeah,
wanna
what's
tell
your
the whole-
story?
Get it.
I know your story.
The
and I
year,
know Pedro's
the
story.
year was 2000.
The year
I'll
was.
tell you.
Prepare for the
Okay,
crescendo.
okay. I'll tell you the whole story. You asked about the local clubs in Long Island. That's a sensitive subject. I was banned from the local clubs in Long Island before I ever stepped on stage because in high school we all used to hang out at this place called the Cow. Right, which is like a dairy barn
Sound
type
like a
thing.
girl I
right,
used to fuck.
right, right next to
Hey,
the
man, you
comedy
fucked the
club.
same girl I
And one
fucked.
night they had like some free
Road
benefit
pussy.
show,
Pussy's
and
milky.
I had maybe done one open mic. I got hammered. I went in there. I ended
shit.
up walking across the stage like "fuck you," and that was just around the time they bought all the other clubs in Long Island. So my entire but I look at it as I don't want to say a blessing in disguise because obviously it would have been good if I could have performed there, but that pushed me to the city. So I would take the train into the city and I would commute and I would just and I made all those connections in the city and stuff. But Long Island comedy, I'll do the
They're rough.
firehouse shows and
I didn't get heckled that much because I was mad violent. So
Yeah, you look like you.
no, I
on some
was
other shit.
like super
You're a
like
fucking
I
crazy
was
man.
fight people. Like I would
Yeah.
wait for them after the show. Go, really? You gonna yell shit out while I'm on stage?
Right.
What was that shit you
And
said
I'd wait
about
for them to
nurse
be by
shoes?
themselves.
And you're light skinned and angry. That's
That's,
worse.
yeah, it's a
I
com-
literally-
people don't realize that it's like
the
a.
white side and the black side.
It's like albino, like tigers and pit bulls. Like they've
They're
been
the worst.
inbred too much, so they get and they turn on your
I'm
ass
not
quick.
inbred.
And I'm not saying you are.
she got that laffy taffy taffy.
I'm not saying it applies.
Black Pedro,
I'm not saying that applies.
Why would you say
Hold
I'm
on.
inbred? Why
I'm
would
not
you
saying
think
that applies. fully.
You look like.
But there's an angry thing there, where it's like.
You look like Rock let his hair grow and let himself go at the same time.
At the same time, if you just said fuck
The
lifting, I like cookies.
Like if they made it
But
a
I'm gonna
chia
tell you
pet
right
rock.
now, But it helped me, and that's
Rock
what
with the
shaped my
baby
comedy.
weight?
Yeah.
That shaped my comedy though,
What?
because the fact that I was always like that. So I started going on stage, and
Right.
then people know, that's
But
the-
no one gets worse. I used to love when you said
yeah. When I
But
on
no
Def
one gets
Jam,
worse.
fuck, that was
Yeah.
my second Def Jam. God
But
damn.
no one gets worse. You had
Can you
the
do
little
the
It's a weird that we did
You had
Def
a
Jam that
hockey
long ago.
jersey on with the fucking. Did you have? Was that a hockey jersey with an ankh on it? Whatever.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was my second Def Jam.
My first is funny. I think I'm the only person on in the history of Def Comedy Jam to do a knock joke.
Yeah, no, I can't think of nobody that did it.
I can't think of anybody else that did a fucking knock joke on Def Jam, and I was like dumb as fuck to do it. I was, when you're young and you're dumb. I was 2 years in the game. I did Def Jam for 2 years doing stand up, and I had done the knock joke doing dress rehearsal because I didn't want to do my act.
Right.
So I heard this knock joke, and it killed doing dress rehearsal, and the crew and stuff was laughing, and Bob Sumner goes, "Man, you got to open up with that." And I said,
that was a good impression.
I was gonna say.
I said, no, man. That's not a knock joke. And then I want to say about this person. And, it's not true. It's not a part of my act. He said, look, start with it, open it up. It'll break the ice, and we'll edit it out. I said, okay, fuck it. And I did the knock joke. It fucking killed. And then it made my set go smooth.
Yeah.
And then after the set, I got off and said, man, don't cut that shit out.
Yeah, like
Leave that shit in.
But back in the day when we did Def Jam, no bullshit, man. It was one of the biggest.
It meant something.
It was a huge I got so many bookings after that shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally went from I was getting booked a lot to really getting booked.
Right.
Yeah.
One time it aired. I'm talking about one time. So I don't think there's any shows like that now. There's no shows.
No,
where
there's it's called social media.
Yeah.
it's social
The
media.
thing is
But no,
media is so diluted.
Right.
Even I was born 91. Even in that era,
Goddamn.
the 90s, early 2000s,
We old as fuck.
there was still stars,
I was
man. If
born
you
in
were on
92.
TV, you were a star. You were known all around the country. There's people on shows right now that I would even say the majority of the people in this country don't even know because it's so spread out and diluted.
Right.
And there's
It
also
is.
people on Instagram who are making a living. They're known to everybody
On
in
their
their
couch.
Instagram thing. Yeah, on their couch. And it's it's rare to be a
Man, listen.
Kevin Hart or a Justin
Listen, I was-
Bieber or a star nowadays.
I
You
was-
just get in when you fit in nowadays.
Right, yeah.
And I don't hate any of the, a lot of older comics in my generation want to shit on the social media comments. And I don't want to shit on them. My message to them is yes, you found your niche. You found how to get in. But also at the same time, if you're going to do stand up, work on that craft just as hard as you work on your sketches.
Some of this
And that's
social
all-
media
that's it.
shit is ridiculous though. Like I swapped.
It's about a personality now, not about
Well,
being funny.
It's
Some
not.
of
No,
it.
no. Some of it's not. I swapped Instagram.
lot of it is,
I
but
swapped
some of it ain't.
Instagram info with this girl the other day. Just average white girl,
Right.
8,300
Call that
followers. I was
basic.
like, "What do you do?" She was like, "No, I just
I just have an ass.
She's
I'm
cute.
white
She's
and
cute.
I'm
She
cute.
posts pic- like she wears workout clothes.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. Nothing
That's all
wrong with that.
she has an ass. That's her credit. She was
I was
born
just
with an
like,
ass.
holy
But hey,
shit.
man, hey,
I'm a working comic
I'm
busting my
not-
ass.
I don't hate on the
Now,
Instagram
you know
thing.
what? I
and,
follow a lot of chicks on Instagram that probably
beautiful
dumb
chicks on
as a
Insta.
bag of lint. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't care. They look good.
yeah.
And now
like
that I
Instagram.
am
It's
solo,
Instagram.
I am going to go do what I need to
DMs.
do.
Get them, Shang.
Somebody got to get it soon.
Somebody's daughter gonna have them 10
Somebody
toes in the
daughter.
air.
Exactly. I am going to do somebody. If I got to drop a pill in they drink.
Do your
Whoa.
kids? Okay, you lost me on that one.
Everybody say, okay,
Hey,
okay.
so
All right.
speaking of Trump, speaking of
You can sit your
Trump,
ass down. I was kidding with the rape pill.
I know, man.
all of a sudden I'm
I ain't
silent.
gonna rape nobody.
All of a sudden I'm silent as fuck.
Yeah. Savage fuck
that
turns
was
into
Shang
silence as
Forbes.
fuck.
That
Then all of a
was
sudden-
Shang
That was
Forbes.
definitely Shang. No.
Until Shang turns 90, and then there's all these women come out. Back in 2000.
When he taped Def Jam, he
They
touched me.
sound like Bill Cosby. The
That's
women.
not the Shang I grew up with.
Yeah, but see, with me, they'd be like, yeah, I can see Shang busting somebody.
it
in the
kinda
head.
was
I
like
can
that.
see him busting somebody
Well,
in the head
that's
and
why
taking
Cosby
it.
got, because it's like, look, Cosby, his whole career, he was Mr. Family Values.
Right.
That's another,
Well, he
that
was-
was a big nail in his coffin. Look at Louis C.K.
That wasn't the
He-
only one though.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
the other thing before you go there,
The
because I
pound
want to
cake
stay right
speech.
here on Bill Cosby. The other thing was, and where I fall out with Bill Cosby, which is he's still on my Comedy Mount Rushmore. But aside from that, when
He's still one of the funniest ever.
when he dogged Def Jam, He was going around talking about. He went on either Letterman or one of those late night talk shows talking about how filthy we are and we're not real comics. And I'm like, dude, that's foul. And off stage, Bill his mouth is fouler than anybody.
Yeah.
So it's just being hypocritical. But
Right.
go ahead. You were saying Louis
what I
CK.
was saying was with Louis, we all know what he was accused of with the masturbate, but
Right.
at least he had, if you watch his act from the earliest stuff,
Right.
he would talk about jerking off. He
Yeah.
would talk about being weird sexually. So
Right.
at least it's not like you're not going, because people, of
wasn't a-
anything,
it wasn't a
people
big
don't like the
departure.
hypocrisy
It wasn't a big departure,
or
but
the
he
fakeness.
still jacked his dick in front of women.
His early
Don't give a
jokes
fuck.
were a cry for help.
Here's the thing. I did
Right?
the same thing. I
think
jacked
so.
off in front of women too, but it's so small they couldn't
They
tell.
didn't care.
They couldn't tell. It was like, what is he doing?
Ew.
He's just pulling his zipper up. I was actually.
I said, look at that minority. over
I
there.
you know what?
I
I
got
don't
a
want you.
centimeter
I don't
Peter.
want you to feel like
But
we're talking
having
about
said that,
jacking
what
our
he
dick.
did was
This is-
wrong. I don't agree with people just trying to bring people down. Like maybe handle it privately.
No,
maybe
no,
you
fuck
know.
that. No.
No.
Hey man, hey.
No,
If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
man.
if you
And Louis
jack
CK
your
is
dick,
funny. I'm a
if you
fan.
jack your dick in front of a woman and she's like, don't do that, you keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Louis C.K. as a
I
stand-up,
wasn't
but
saying it was right.
I've never heard
something
anyone
the
say
fuck
jack
wrong
your
with you.
dick.
Well,
Jack your dick.
I do it every morning.
Yeah,
But I've
but
never
I mean,
heard it. Not that I haven't heard it been done.
Yeah, that's like pray to God and jack my dick.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that-
thank you.
In
Wake me
that
up, God.
order. In that order.
it does
Go right
start
back
your
to
morning off right. It starts your morning off right to masturbate. I'm gonna let you know.
But here's my issue.
Jeff, what we
It's
saying?
like coffee.
Here's-
It's like
here's
you
my issue
jerk
with
off,
Louis.
drink your morning coffee. There's certain things you need to get the day going.
Jerking off in front of women is one thing, but then if you're
Only if they like it. Though.
yeah, but the
can't pull
woman,
your dick out and just
some
jack
of the
off
women
on a
that he
woman.
jerked off in front of, they were told by his manager to drop the story or they'll never work again. Now, it's one thing to jerk off in front of a woman unsolicited.
Right.
It's another thing to use your position of power
Right.
to intimidate
Right.
people.
You
from
can't
You know
do
what?
that.
Fuck him. I hope he dies. No.
And Jeff is
Well,
like,
no, but he used his position of power, but guess what? That's what the fuck you supposed to do when you headlining.
Fuck is power for?
When you headlining, that's what you supposed to do.
You know, what? And it's funny because I rarely pull that card because I rarely pull that power card when I'm headlining. And it took me years to even like tell a comic what I would not like them to do, say in front of me on stage. or not.
I never did that,
But
yeah.
I do it sometimes if I'm working on a bit that I really need to get out. Then I would be like,
So
hey,
you tell them, hey.
yeah, but I say if that's all you got, then
Do
go
your
ahead
shit.
and do it.
Yeah.
But if you can, I don't tell them. I actually ask them. I said, do you mind, da 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 da, and then for at least one or two shows so I can get this bit out, so it can be
Right.
fresh when I do it. But if that's a bulk of their act, then
Yeah.
I'm like, go
Well,
ahead
no,
and do it. I'm not gonna. I don't want them to struggle because they took a main part of their funny out. So I won't sacrifice.
You won't fuck them over,
Yeah, I won't do
basically.
that. That's
Because
not
I've
right.
done shows with Pedro, and I've seen Pedro snap on stage. I'm letting you let him know.
Well, if I
You
don't get
freak the
my
fuck out.
cocaine before the show, what the
Yeah,
fuck? I'm
what the
supposed
fuck
to
you
fuck
supposed No, but we were doing South Carolina. Was it Columbia?
Oh,
Was
shit.
Oh
it,
boy, the comedy
House.
Oh Lord.
The Comedy House, and some lady heckled him, and I had done a bunch of shows with him before,
man.
I've
and
been there.
he just like you lost your
It
fucking mind.
was one of them sets that it wasn't going well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like 15 minutes in, and I
Yeah.
got another 15, and I'm in the fight. And then I told a joke, and the punchline works every other goddamn city. The rest of the week was going fine. This was just a rough show, and this lady hit me with the womp womp in the back, and that.
But then
it
you
was
started killing.
I
but
turned
you
into
started
like
killing.
Bruce Banner and shit. Like
Oh,
you
and
don't
she
want to see
heckled
me
you.
when I'm
She heckled
angry.
you with the womp.
Yeah, she hit me with the womp womp,
And
dog, and I
then
was
he
like,
just
you
went.
mother.
I'm talking about 15 minutes straight,
Just
like the
on her,
last
like,
part of his
just
set,
grilling
just
her.
absolutely. And then she went outside and took a straight razor and cut her wrist.
I did that one time. I did. It was in. You know what I'm talking about.
It's like you come off stage and Shang's like, "You're all right," and I'm like, "What happened? I blacked out."
No, mine was
I don't know
different.
what I said.
Mine was different. Like you remember the Creative Tour?
Oh Jesus!
Creative
Yeah.
Tour was this tour in the early '90s where it's 2 weeks of shows, and you go from Norfolk, Virginia to Memphis, Tennessee to Augusta, Georgia,
lot of
to
driving.
Atlanta, Georgia, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
So Bruce had this club in Atlanta called 559.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I've done it.
559 was this motherfucker. If they would search you at the door for guns. If you didn't have one, they would give you one. It was that
It
type
was
of club.
horrible. I did it
And the
3
thing about it
times.
is,
You're gonna need this.
and the thing about it is that it was a small club, and I'd been on the road for maybe a week and a half with the opener already, so we knew each other's set and things like that. And Bruce was out that weekend, right? So they had somebody else in, right? So you do the club, and I'm telling you, these motherfuckers would not fucking laugh. So the opening guy is up there. His name is Sean Miller. He's up there, and I know his set. So he's up there, throw his first joke out, bam, nothing.
Man, that's
Then he do his second joke out there, bam, nothing. Then he just start remixing right on stage. Went to his closer like 3 minutes into his set.
Oh, no.
Bam, nothing. So he's supposed to do like 15, 20 minutes. This motherfucker did like
7.
He did like 7 minutes. And his
bailed.
name is Sean Miller, and he goes, "Hey, my name is Randy Johnson. Good night." so now, back then, I was a really even more cerebral comic than I am now, because I was trying to create a lane not from my brother and be a different type of comic. Not that he's not cerebral, but I was a little bit more political, a little bit more thoughtful in my jokes. So I was doing material, and I said, this club, I can't do my
This ain't
smart
for
shit
it,
here. I'm
yeah.
sorry. So I started doing my little surface shit, right? And I ran out of the little bullshit I had, and I was like, fuck, I can't go to the smart shit because they're gonna look at me as an uppity nigga. So let me think. So I did. So true shit. One of my boys was in the audience, right? So I got done with that material. I'm supposed to do 30 minutes. Now I'm supposed to do 45. So at about the 12-minute mark, 15-minute mark, I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm in my head. Because we're thinking in our head as we're telling jokes, right?
Right.
And I look in a certain direction and go, who mama? And I just went off for another 10 minutes of straight Gatling gun mama jokes. I mean, they going fucking wild, fucking crazy, right, son? I turned to New York, I don't know why. But fucking crazy, son. So then I got off stage, they're like, good night. Man, it was a fucking awesome set. They stood up. I get off stage, I see my boy. He said, nigga, nobody said your mama. I said, I know, nigga. I had to use that I had to bail myself out.
That room, you got to. I
Get your hand out
I
my
started
pocket.
off with pussy jokes. I ended with pussy jokes.
And the thing about it,
and then they were like, "You really funny." Like, what happened to the other dude?
So I ended up doing like 30 minutes. I had another
Give me my
15 to
money.
do, and the club owner goes, "Man, you got off so soon, man. They was loving you." I said, "Soon?" I said, "No." Bruce said, "Man, just come here and do like 30 minutes and get off." He said, "Man, you supposed to do 45." I said, "For real, man? Let me go back up there." He said, "No, we already took the tables and chair." I wasn't going back up there.
Yeah, no.
I said, "You know what, man? I tell you what, man. I'll come back in a couple of months, man. Do a free show for you." I knew damn well I wouldn't come back to that goddamn club.
That room
But
was that room was like
Dude.
thugged out.
Ooh, man.
But see, that's a testament to the fact that
pussy ass comic, your pussy ass, like
some
in
people
Atlanta.
some people believe that you have to stick to your stuff every show.
man.
No, you got to do whatever it takes to make these people laugh.
Pedro, no.
Except steal jokes.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah,
Except
yeah,
Pedro,
bro,
that's-
Pedro,
no, that
you
was
went off your
implied,
act.
but-
You went off
Well,
your act.
No, but
comics,
some people, right?
You know,
Yeah,
some
yeah, oh,
comics.
yeah.
No, yeah, but when Pedro, when you went off your act, even though that you snapped, you started killing.
But I'm still myself. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you
Like, I stay true to
yourself.
myself.
You're not mad at he snapped, are you? Because you snap all the fucking time.
I snapped. No, I snapped.
No, he was just surprised.
No,
Because
I
I
was
knew some-
surprised because we had been doing.
You got a whole line of lawn equipment. You're a snapper, motherfucker, man. They named that shit after you because you cut motherfuckers. You mow lawns.
snapper.
Anybody here ever have a friend steal a joke?
Absolutely.
I had a dude, he like fucking hits me up on Facebook. He's like, "Oh, hey man, I did your this was when the ice bucket challenge was hot. I had a bit about Osama bin Laden doing the ice bucket challenge from hell." He's like, "Oh, hey man, I kind of did your Osama bin Laden ice bucket challenge."
Kinda.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Is that cool?" I'm like, "No, what the
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't fuck with him that much anymore, really, because
That kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth.
and then he did
After
some
that, you
sneaky
seen-
shit.
Yeah.
This is when
What'd he
Trump
do?
was running. I had a bit about Trump being like, "Look, folks, we're gonna legalize cocaine, okay?" And he comes and does a Trump legalizing heroin bit. The fuck is that? Which, by the way, heroin nowhere near as funny as cocaine. Cocaine is just a funnier
you
drug.
did the wrong thing though, because you kind of backed away from him in that. You should have punched him in the fucking mouth.
You know,
I've
that's a
seen
good
that
point.
happen.
Honestly, I think you're right.
Yo,
You're right.
George
You should have
Lopez.
said, keep your jokes out your motherfucking mouth
But
and then punch him in.
Did y'all hear this? George Lopez, Carlos Mencia.
So
George
Tracy
Lopez,
Morgan did with Chris. Jimmy Fallon.
George Lopez caught
gotta tell
Carlos
that story.
Mencia in the Laugh Factory and grabbed his neck and bounced his head off the wall over jokes.
Yeah.
So there's some people that take that shit.
I heard.
crazy.
I heard. Robin Harris used to pull pistols on comics for telling jokes. I remember my own brother Joe Torry is a comic guy who was doing comedy. He's in casting now. Joe beat him out of comedy, but he was doing Joe's jokes a lot, right? So one time they were in Long Beach at Birdland West.
I used to do
So
Birdland West.
the late Ricky Harris, rest in peace, man, was hosting that show, and he calls Joe and said, "Hey man, this motherfucker been doing your jokes again." Joe got in his car and sped down to Long Beach and caught that motherfucker come out the comedy club. And Joe was like, "Man, I told you quit doing my fucking jokes." And he was like, man, I'm sorry, George. I can't get it out my act. And Joe's like,
I'm addicted to your jokes.
Yeah, and Joe's like, you know what you want to do? He's like, what? And Joe just started beating the fuck out of him, man.
So I'm gonna beat it out of your act.
And he beat him out of comedy. Dude is doing casting now.
Or I thought you meant he was in cast. Like he's in cast.
Well, from a cast to now he's just doing
casting.
But no, to me, like when Arnaz J did that to me at the Michael
Blackson?
No, he had
Michael
the comedy
Basin?
club.
Michael what? The
Williams.
Comedy Act Theater? Michael
Yeah,
Williams.
yeah.
Comedy Act Theater. First own black comedy club in the country. I didn't forget that.
No, I forgot it because I wasn't doing it as much. I wasn't. I came down to
you
the
light skin. We didn't like
because I'm
light
light
skin
skinned.
people,
Yeah, that was exactly it. Wow, you just went there, nigga.
I did. I go there all the time.
But no,
Beige
but
fuck.
hey man, listen, Blade.
I know how to make
Let me tell you something. First off,
I know Shang's
okay,
buttons.
hold up, motherfucker.
I know Shang's buttons.
Number one, you should be protecting the perimeter from vampires, you black vampire hunter. Number two, that's not what I was saying, bitch.
Oh, day walking ass nigga.
You talking about Michael Williams?
Michael at
Michael
the Comedy
Williams
Act.
booked me with Arnaz J. Arnaz J. I don't know if y'all know who Arnaz J is.
Yeah, yeah.
Arnaz J was notorious for doing that. And he went up before me, did my bit, and I came up right after him and told people, this is how the bit's originally supposed to go.
Wow, are you serious?
And did the same bit and said, see why I did better? Because it's my bit.
God
and
damn.
then I said, and you wonder why Freeze Love beat your ass.
God damn.
On stage, because
On stage.
Freeze Love dropped hands
didn't
on
know
him.
that.
Because he went on Def
Breaking
Jam.
news. Old ass breaking news, but it's breaking news to me.
He went on Def Jam and did Freeze Love's act. Freeze Love
Freeze
yelled.
Love or Faison? You said, wait a minute, which
Freeze
one?
Love.
Freeze
Okay.
Love.
Freeze Love. Freeze Love waited,
Are
said,
they related? They're brothers?
No.
Freeze Love
The
yelled
They're
at him and
brothers,
said-
but they're not brothers.
While
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
taping
yeah.
the show, we in the back, and Freeze Love yelled while Arnaz was on the stage, like, I'm gonna get you, nigga. You gonna run into me. So he did that. He waited till he got back to LA, saw him at the Improv, the More Better Mondays.
Well,
walked
Freaky
up on
Mondays
him.
back then.
Was it? Yeah, it was two.
Freaky Mondays back then. It started on Freaky Mondays.
Right,
Then
and
it
he
became-
walked
now
up
it's
on
More
him.
Better Mondays.
He walked up on him and dropped about 10
Wow,
on Arnaz.
really?
Then
Bing,
Arnaz
bang.
took his shirt off, tried to do karate, and didn't work.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah,
I had to.
Damn.
bing, 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 bing,
I
bing,
had
bing,
to,
bing.
I had to check a comic. We used to be cool, but I don't fuck with him anymore. And it wasn't over jokes. It was like it was
You're
over.
so nice.
It was over work. Yeah, but this was a dude who was calling the booker at the Improv at the time and being like, "Why are you booking Pedro with all these spots? Like I can work those spots too."
See, that's hate shit
Wow.
right
Oh, that's so.
But then had the audacity to call me and tell me that he had that conversation. And I was like, just like you said, leave the jokes out. That's exactly what I said. I was like, nigga, leave my name out of your mouth when you trying to get your work.
That's some
But-
psychopath
Like, are you out
shit.
of your fucking
Comics
mind?
were doing that to you when we were doing shows. Would call up the club and go, well, or tell me, hey man, why you putting Pedro on the show?
Really?
I
Why
should
would
co-
you ask
Just hate.
that?
He had that a lot.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
A lot.
I'll tell
I
you
mean,
why.
a lot. And then when I was doing Monkey with a Brain for Universal, and I'd bring him on the show, the comics were literally mad at me, like, why you got Pedro on the show when you can put me on the
What
show?
the fuck? Why so much hate?
I'll tell you why. Because first of all, comics, and I'm a stand-up comedian, been for 25 years.
Yes, sir.
Professionally. But I've been an asshole my whole life. So to be honest, my day job is being an asshole. My night job is telling you about my day job. That's a Guy Torry original.
I like that.
That, by
Guy Torry original.
the way,
Heard it here
Arnaz, do not do that. What he just did.
So here's the thing. First of all, comedians, we're dark souls. We're
Yes.
dark on the inside.
Yes,
All
I
this
know
happy
that.
shit you see is really a facade.
Yes. Yes.
We're dark, fucked up, twisted individuals on the inside. We do comedy, and I heard this quote. This is not my quote. We do comedy. Well, this is my quote. We do comedy to bring light to those dark situations on the inside of us.
Yes, sir.
What's not my quote is that we're also control freaks. So, and I heard this great quote where it said, we become comedians because we're so afraid of getting laughed at. We do stand up to control the laughter. So we're inside, we do comedy because we want people to like us. We want people to laugh at our shit.
Right.
We're sensitive. We don't want to admit that we're sensitive, but we're
course.
fucking sensitive.
Yeah.
We're fucking loose a little bit. That's why we do this shit. Who think they can get
Wait
in
a
front
minute,
of
hold
us on
up.
stage?
Yo,
But how did
I started off doing comedy for pussy. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Wait a minute, the rest
One
of y'all.
reason and one reason only.
But
That makes you loose.
We're
I'm fucking around.
we're also intelligent. We're also smart. We're also witty. And we're also like, chameleons. When they want somebody for a radio host or a TV show host,
Right.
they don't call actors first. They call comedians
Even
first.
also late night TV, late night TV shows.
but we're still
most
the low
of them
man
are
on the totem
stand-ups.
pole.
When you say that, when you say most of the late night people that were
Hosts.
Yes.
successful,
Yes.
if you look at Jay Leno, I don't think Johnny Carson was, but Jay Leno stand
Letterman.
up, Leonard stand up.
Right.
Conan wasn't really
Yeah,
bad.
Conan wasn't.
He was a writer though.
Conan was still stand up.
He did.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah, I
bit.
guess
But
so.
hang on, real talk, you saying you were doing it for pussy, that doesn't negate what he said. That's
Right,
just
right.
another
Yeah, that's
other side of the
For
same
pussy.
coin.
Yeah, exactly.
I was already
most of us
sta-
are narcissistic.
Yeah,
we're
no.
selfish. We're self-centered. We want to. This
You
one.
have
This
to
this
be.
this this
You
is a
have to
comic.
be.
You have to be, but you need balance. But here's the thing. Comics want to do everything that other comics are doing. Like if you get something, how come
How
it
come
ain't
I
me?
ain't get that?
And here's the thing, stupid asses, comics. Somebody got to play the club in Chicago while I'm doing the one in Tampa. You know,
Right, and
you
then
can't play
Milwaukee
every
needs
club
a
at the
spot.
same time every night. We need each other. So instead of competing, let's root for each other. And if you ain't funny, you just ain't funny. But to
Or-
play that hating game is some bullshit.
I-
Or
I-
you
that's
just
what I'm saying.
stab
And
them.
it's
No,
bad
I think
business.
stab them. No, wait a minute.
If any
It's-
of my clients fucking call, if any of my
Stabbing's
clients ever
good.
did that
Stabbing's
and called out
good.
somebody else, I would be pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
like, that's
No,
not the kind of business we
I
do.
ju- I
here.
couldn't-
You don't take
you
food
know.
off another person's table. There's
Right.
comics
Yeah.
I used to put on Fat Tuesdays, my comedy night, that I
I used to
personally
love that
did
room.
not like. Comics I know who hated on me, and I knew that they hated on me. Try to shit on me over TV shows or movies. You know what? I still booked them because they were still funny. The audience still loved them, and I separated that bullshit. But
That was one of the hottest. For the people that don't know, because if you weren't in LA at the time, that literally, I think it eclipsed the Comedy Act Theater.
It did.
It eclipsed it.
But it would have been no Fat Tuesdays without the Comedy Act Theater.
Okay, yeah, and you got to give them props. But I'm gonna tell you
Absolutely.
right now, I know comics that would call me from like New York and be like, "Yo, man, I want to do that room so bad." Like people were jonesing to do that room, and then after I would do the room, you got to do the room.
Well, Fat Tuesdays, let me explain it.
It
What
was
Fat
great for
Tuesdays
me.
was-
I got a lot of play from it,
It was
so
a comedy
I got
night
love.
that
I
I
love that room.
created in 1995 at the World Famous Comedy Stores. Fat Tuesdays spelled PHE. I'm actually shooting a documentary on it right now. But I created the comedy night because when I lived in St. Louis, and my older brother Joe Torry lived in LA, and he came up through the Comedy Act Theater, the first
Right.
owned black comedy club in the country. And Robin Harris was the host who made that place famous. And Martin Lawrence came through there, and Sinbad, and
And
Robert
DL,
Townsend, and DL,
DL, yeah. It
and
seemed
Martin,
like-
all those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
So after Robin Harris died, it fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
But then when the riots happened, and the Rodney King riots happened in '92, it really fell off. So when I moved out here after the riots in '92 to go to this Comedy Act Theater I heard so
Right.
much about, it was just a shell of itself. It wasn't the club that it used to be. So by '95, I had a few credits under my belt. I've been doing comedy at that point. I did Def Comedy Jam. I had
Right.
another maybe movie credit or TV credit. So I went I saw a lot of my comrades, my brothers and sisters who didn't have an agent, didn't have a manager. I had both, and not getting looked at. And I'm like, you know what? This is fucked up. A lot of talented people down here getting overlooked. So I went to the comedy store and said, hey, can I do a night showcasing black comedians? There's a lot of people getting looked over in South Central. So they gave me the Belly Room, which holds like 90 people.
Yeah,
So-
that's the room we did, the belly room.
So I did the Belly Room and the thing about it was that shit took off. Like everybody from Arsenio to Dr. Dre to Tupac would be there almost every week when he was free. But comics came through, and I have film and footage of young
Right.
Chris Tucker and young Bill Bellamy and my brother and those guys. I mean, Joe started before me, but I have film from back then, man, and it became a place where Hollywood could come to a safe place and scout black talent because the Comedy Act Theater is where they used to come see black comedians.
Was
And
it
when Michael
good?
And when Michael Jordan came to town, or Moses Malone, or Magic, they want to see black comics, they went to the Comedy
The
Act Theater.
Hollywood,
But
yeah.
when the riots happened, nobody wasn't going
Yeah.
south of Wilshire.
Right.
So I brought the hood to Hollywood, and I started showcasing comics at Fat Tuesdays, and it blew up, and I had to move into the main room after 9 months. It's kind of poetic. After 9 months in the Belly Room, I gave birth to the main room, which I skipped the 200-seater, which is the original room, and went to the main room. And what happened was
packed.
that's where a lot of work was, a lot of comics showcased. I got American History X's. They saw me at Fat Tuesdays. Michael Blackson got Next Friday because Cube saw him at Fat Tuesdays.
Wow.
Nick Cannon was discovered at Fat Tuesdays, and that came from his own mouth. And Chris Tucker, and I mean all those guys. But it was the way I ran the room was like I used it as a brass ring. Like everybody can get on that stage,
Right.
Because I was like, okay, there's a lot of comedy clubs you can go and try your shit out at, but because this is the main room, this is legendary status as far as the stage, the Comedy Store, the highest you can get at that time in stand up as far as name. It's like, bam, you got to work your way to this shit. I made a lot of comics mad because some of them just weren't ready. Some of my friends who were comics,
Right.
it's like, man, how come you ain't ready? I'm sorry.
There be people like,
You ain't ready.
fuck got Torry.
Yep.
Good Guy Torry will let me
Yeah.
do my 7 minutes. I hate Guy Torry.
Yeah.
When I see
Why
Guy
you booking
Torry,
Pedro?
I'm gonna throw acid on him.
But you know what they did?
Guy, why you booking Pedro?
Why
Like,
you
everybody
booking
talks about
Pedro?
this,
Why you
Why you
booking
got
Shang?
Pedro?
But no, I mean, you gave me love. I ain't gonna front.
Oh yeah, but you
I-
played with him a lot because when you came up there, you handled your business.
Yeah, and I used to come up there and
I played
used to,
funnytism, not favoritism.
Yeah, I had a good time, and I got a lot of shit. I got an agent.
That's what it was for.
I got an agent. Brillstein Gray, when I was with Brillstein Gray, saw me there, and then they asked me after. They're like, "Well, we want to see you in front of a white audience too."
Yeah.
They wanted, and then I did a
Yeah.
white audience. And said, "Oh, he did the same shit." I guess
Funny is funny.
It worked, and it worked. So I got signed from that. But I
But that
think
camaraderie isn't there anymore.
no, I know it's not like that anymore. But I think from that, when you did that, I'm bullshit you not. I haven't seen anything like that since.
Well, it was done-
chocolate sundaes to a
well,
point.
here's the thing.
But not really.
Here's the thing. And there are rooms that came after that.
Yeah, but they're not.
And
Come
people
on,
say
man.
this, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. I did Fat Tuesdays not for pussy, not for
Damn!
money, not for money because I was losing money.
I
some
never got no
Tuesdays.
pussy from her.
Some Tuesdays doing that. Now I did it because I wanted to show. It was done out of love, out of wanting to show and showcase
Right.
my brothers and sisters who was doing stand up. It wasn't about me. My managers get mad at me because like you ain't doing material. You got. I said it ain't for me to do material. It's for them to do material so they can get representation. You do your fucking job. I want them to get representation. I can do material anytime I want to, but I'm hosting. So I'm not going to do 15, 20, 30 minutes in
I
between
used to,
each comic and
but-
shit like that.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
do
ain't-
comics
it
that
ain't
would
about
do
me. I'm
like
here every week.
45 minutes. Some rooms where they do 45 minutes
In between comics.
acts, and then they couldn't understand why I want to grab their throat when they came
Yeah.
on stage.
I always say that in LA there's a thin line between hosting and headlining. Like,
You ain't lying.
some cats don't know it, boy.
You ain't lying.
You gonna do 55?
Not just LA.
minutes.
That's all
everywhere.
over the goddamn
Well,
place.
But I think that I haven't seen it. You say there was room after that. I don't see none. Chocolate
no, I
Sundays
mean-
is the closest.
I mean,
And it's still out there.
Mo Better
More
kind of
Money
had
Monday. No, it's not. Fuck
but no,
no.
but it had it
Mo
didn't
Better
have,
Monday.
it didn't
I
have
hosted
that.
it for like
I
a
know,
month.
I get
I
it,
remember
but
this. No, it
it
wasn't.
didn't have that sort of like industry attachment that your room had, that Fat Tuesdays had. But there was a certain like birthright to it. Like
What?
if you could go in that room and do anything,
What
get
room?
a nigga to giggle into Mo Better.
The documentary I got is, man, I got something, and I got to get you, Shang, because I'm not done interviewing.
Okay.
But Cat Williams gave me some gold statements and saying some of the same stuff you said. Kevin Hart gave me some gold moments interviewing. Cedric the Entertainer, DL. I mean,
I
I've done
remember-
interviews, man, and like for this doc, and the stuff they said was just amazing. And I didn't realize it because I was young and dumb. I mean,
Right.
you got to look at the fact that this was 1995. I was doing comedy 3 fucking years.
Right.
I had never ran a room before, never took a
Right.
business class before. I was in marketing, but I got kicked out of college for hitting a cop. And
Oh, you just gonna gloss over that shit?
By the way,
Like, by the way, yeah, man, I
when
threw
you're
a
young
grenade
and
at a motherfucker.
naive-
So
when you're young and naive, you just don't know. I had no idea what it took to run a fucking business. I had no social media. I had no money for advertising. I made the flyers myself at Kinko's. I had no radio budget. There was no Twitter. No.
Yeah, you
Facebook.
couldn't-
It
you
was
couldn't just
word of
tweet
mouth.
it out.
So what I did
Yeah.
was I treated myself like a president. I wasn't the funniest one, but I booked the show to be funny as fuck.
Right.
So
and then
so
everybody would be like,
everybody-
"God, Torry's room is fire."
Right. And it ain't got nothing to do with me. It wasn't that I was this funny guy everybody wanted to see. It was the fact that I caught lightning in the bottle. There was no show in town like it. It was urban
No, yeah,
comedy.
I know. I think
straight
one
from the
other
hood.
club
So
tried
it was
it.
a formula. It wasn't like, you gotta go see Guy Torry. Nah, I was just a byproduct of everybody and all the comics. And I know Mitzi used to get mad at me because there was no Chocolate Sundays before Fat Tuesdays. There was no Mo Better Mondays. There was no really successful urban comedy night in a white club anywhere in America before Fat Tuesdays. And the thing about it was I used to shout out Mo Better Mondays, Freaky Mondays at the Improv, and shout out Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory. And Mitzi used to get mad at me, rest in peace, Mitzi. And she'd be like, "Why are you giving these other clubs that love?" I said, "Because I can't service all the black comedians just on Tuesday night. I need Chocolate Sundays. I need Mo Better Mondays, Freaky
Right.
Mondays, because it's a lot of black comedians who need to be showcased, and I can't do it. I'm only putting up 4 comics. I'm not putting up.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
like
wasn't like a long
No.
lineup. It wouldn't be like, okay, and this is the 9th comic
Yeah,
coming to the
nah, man.
stage.
Oh,
It was
4
like
comics.
See, that
and
is
4.
different. Yeah, they don't
it
have
had to
any
be
of those
4
now.
that brought
Fuck that.
heat.
Now it's like-
I remember that because it had to be 4 that brought heat. It couldn't be just like Like I would remember it would be like, damn, it's pretty much
But
all
I had a
headliners.
formula.
There's nothing
But
worse
you had
than a
mostly
show
headliners.
with like
No.
15 comics on it. More than half of them bring her. Oh, just
Nothing, you're wrong, Shang. You said I had mostly headliners because
It seemed- well, the nights I was doing it, I was like, there was some hitters, man.
No. You said I had mostly headliners because now they're headliners. Back then they weren't headliners. They're just funny up and
Well,
coming
yeah, I'm
comics.
thinking, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're thinking now the names that you should go after, but back then they were not headliners. So I had a formula. Like I trained people to book the room because I felt it was a conflict of interest for me to book it and do all that. So I went through. We would make a list of every comic that was basically in LA and
Right.
ones who traveled here a lot.
I was traveling back and forth then.
We put numbers by them, 1 through 5. Who was a 1? Who's a good opener? Who's a good 2? Who's a good 3? A middle? Who's a good 4 or 5? Some people have multiple numbers, so they can do both. So so what I did was I put numbers together. Like, okay, you can put a 1 and a 3 and a 5 on the same show, but you can't put 4 1s up. You can't put 3 1s and a 3. You gotta have at least a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. But if you gotta mix and match, then you gotta have at least a 4 and a 3 and 2 1s. You can do that. So we had
This works for dating too. This also works in other contexts.
But
You can't have
Dating
a
by
one.
numbers.
If you have a
Dating by
one,
numbers.
and that's how Tinder was invented.
Right. So I put
It's the
styles up.
algorithm.
I would put different comics up who had different energy. I wouldn't put all storytellers up, but I always made sure I had one woman on each show too, because women don't get a fair shake in this world, and especially comedy. So there was a formula to how I would book a show. It wasn't
even
just because it was
like
funny.
some
It's
more,
about
a lot of
styles.
those female comics that
Melanie
are like,
Camacho,
that are
Yvette
actually
Wilson.
headlining all Melanie for sure, like that were headlining. I'm telling you, that was they spot.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact I was one of the only black comics that was working both. I was working the mainstream
Right.
and that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I never seen no females on the shows. Never. Like I never seen no black females, but I never seen no female. It would be like 5 white dudes and me.
Right.
And-
Well,
a little bit, a little bit. See, there you go again, guy.
That's why you always feel like you're the blackest one there.
No, I'm not at all. No, but
inside.
No, inside.
He black as fuck, but outside,
Not so much.
he's a little
Suspect.
Twinkie-ish.
Little Twinkies, a little bit.
I'm
No,
Twinkie.
she's Twinkie.
Oh, you're Twinkie.
That's
Okay.
her, that's
No,
her
but-
handle.
Is it? Okay.
TWN.
Do you think? Hold on, I want
Okay,
to
then
make sure. I
move
want to ask you
by
both.
then. Move by then.
I want to ask you, would you say comedy now, because that's why we want to talk about just our lives. Would you say comedy now, like we are back back in the day, would you say now that you...
I was born in the 90s, niggas.
So-
Go ahead.
Okay, camaraderie. I was born in 1955. No, I wasn't.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't. No, but I'm saying, do you think that you said the camaraderie? That's what I'm talking about. Like, do you think that that's how it is now, where there's no camaraderie? Where before I used to get bookings because the comic would call me and go,
Yeah.
"Hey man, this is a gig in Oakland.
Yep.
Give me."
I still do that.
Yeah, I still do it. Yeah, and so I'd find out about the gig, then I call him and say, "Yeah, man, he said I could call him."
I will say this: Shang was that guy, and still is that guy.
Yeah.
But Shang was the first guy that really was showing comics the ropes. He was that. Shang was that guy that showed us how to market ourselves. Shang was that guy
still the
who
guy.
who would put us up on other game and other shows. But Shang was that guy, and I was that guy too. But I did notice Shang was the one who was like, oh man, this is how you do your flyers, this is how you promote yourself. We as comics, you probably don't get this, but we learned a lot from you. As angry as you was, we learned a lot from you.
The lessons came through.
He said as angry as he was.
I met Shang on Friday, and he got me on this.
No.
I watched the
personally
set.
like-
No, he had a good
No.
No, he had a good set. He had a good set. If you sucked ass on stage, I'd be like,
Nah.
"Hey man, look,
This
you need
is-
to go and start learning how to do pottery."
I got full testament
Yeah,
right here.
he
My
really-
road career started because of Shang. Like literally Hollywood Improv. It was like a Friday or Saturday night. I was hosting, and he was on the show. It was one of them.
Yeah.
5 white guys and then us 2.
But no,
You know
that's
what I mean?
I'm not making that up. That's how the lineup
we
is
were
for the
outside.
improv.
We were outside talking, and Shang was literally like, "They don't book black dudes to host here. How did you get this?" And I was just like,
That's because they thought you was a nigga from Fine Young Cannibals. He
But-
drives me crazy.
But after that, Shang was like,
But no, it's true. No, there's a lot of comics that couldn't get in clubs, and I think that before, like I do it now. There's a lot of comics that don't say, "Hey, man," like the Rec Room. I told another comic about the Rec Room. No, this is true. When
Dane
we did
Comedy Live.
Huntington
when
Beach.
we did the show, I was like, he asked me how I was. I was like, it's really good. He said, how come I didn't even know about this club? I'm like, A friend of mine did it, and he didn't even tell me. I'm like, what the fuck would you not tell him for?
Quote unquote friend.
I even do it for white comics, like Brad Williams, man. You know, Brad Williams, the little dude with the big ass head, funny as fuck.
Yeah, he
Good
kills.
dude.
Yeah.
I told him he had never played the DC Improv. No. And I was like, I told Allison, I said, yo, you got to get Brad in here. And he plays it on a regular now. But I do it, and I'll do it for others. Like I said, I'm a fan of comedy. I play funnytism, not favoritism. Now, I will favor, black comics a little bit more because we have, more of a disadvantage sometimes. But
affirmative action.
Yeah.
But there's what I wanted to say is make sure, because I know what we're working on time-wise, I want to make sure you let everybody know. Thank you. First off, thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate you very much. And I want to tell you, make sure you to download the app, because that's the easiest way. Also, if you have a GM car,
any vehicle
that's GM.
2018.
Is it 2018?
Yeah.
Any 2018 GM, is it GMC or GM?
Any GM car.
Any GM car, you can listen to our show in your car.
In the dashboard.
In the dashboard.
It's in dash on dash.
In dash on dash.
This motherfucker,
you can listen to the car.
This motherfucker guy is over here looking up the lead singer.
You do have
man.
Y'all have the same head.
Y'all got the same hair. You got the same fucked up hair
skin
follicles.
tone. Yeah,
But follicles.
Them cow licks, baby. That
but
recession.
make sure y'all stupid.
A lot of cows lick the fuck out of you guys.
Make sure, make sure you listen to the show. If you got a GM car, it has to be 2018 though. 2018 on, right?
Or newer. Yeah.
Or newer.
Oh, ain't nothing newer than that.
Ain't no newer than that.
If you're riding around in your 2020,
if you're flying around in your Millennium Falcon,
the 2020 should be out soon.
Okay, but make sure you listen
What's
to
the GM connection?
Dash radio.
Dash radio.
Dashes and dash.
It dashes and dash. When you
so
get the car.
The app is built in.
Really?
It's built into all new.
I'm trying to buy a new car now. I'm in the market. I don't know what I want yet.
So make sure you do that. Make sure you download the app on your phone. Also, go to our social media on Facebook. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. It is Savage AF, okay? Black Pedro, myself, you see what we're doing, what we're coming up with. Also, upcoming shows, we're gonna have Chris Titus is gonna be on the show.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great.
Yeah, we're doing that. We got him. We talked to him. He's like, Shang, what's up? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so we got that, and we're gonna have a lot of top comics on the show. And that was my impression. That wasn't as good as yours. I'm not as good as you, but then I can do it. No, wait a minute. I did the voiceover. I did the voiceover for the Lion King commercial. So settle down.
Okay.
Oh.
I did Pumbaa and Timba. So
they got
the same goddamn color.
Yeah, it was like,
that sounds like a challenge.
wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're a lion and that's your warthog, and everybody's okay with this? Akuna Matata. Lie down before you hurt yourself. I like the big cups at Burger
That's one
King.
of the best voices ever in that movie. Jeremy Irons, baby. Uncle Scar. Wanala. That's my favorite line. Well, not my favorite line in the movie.
Do you get a lot of voiceover work?
I'm getting there. I'm getting
agent.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I have a friend who does impersonation. He doesn't live here anymore, and you can take his job.
Yeah.
He doesn't move on. But he used to get called in to do voiceovers for like movies.
Yeah.
Like say for instance,
I did a bunch of those.
Chris Rock. They probably can get Chris Rock to come in. So
I
they had to do a line or two.
I auditioned for Dracula 3 with the animated film with Adam Sandler.
You said Cracula?
And they wanted me to do
Dracula or Cracula?
Dracula.
Cracula would be a great fucking cartoon.
And they wanted me to do Adam Sandler as Dracula. So they're coming my way now.
Yeah, I've done a lot of voiceovers, and I've done a lot of voiceovers.
Yeah,
I've been lucky.
Have your voiceover agent, man. Your agent make sure they plug you for that, because sometimes they can't get the actor, and they got a movie that got to come out or TV to come out, so they get somebody who's an impressionist to do
The Cartoon Network is the one that hired me the most. Cartoon Network. I did Yoda. I had to do Yoda for Star Wars.
Hilarious.
And they couldn't get the
Fat
person.
ass Yoda.
That was big ass Yoda.
Ooh, Yoda.
So I did Yoda, and they paid
though.
me quite well to do Yoda, like,
You're watching Star Wars. Yes, you are.
You
And
know,
I
it's
would
not
do that.
funny
He's
to see
doing
this
the
big
mouth.
angry beige motherfucker doing fucking cartoon voices.
I did that and Chrysler LeBaron and a bunch of shit and Twix.
You had to sound like a Chrysler band.
No, it's like, it was my regular
You know what
voice.
you should have done?
No, it's like, I just said my regular voice.
You know what you should have done?
What?
These nuts!
I knew that was coming.
Got your
Listen,
ass.
we're going to take a break right now on Savage AF. We're going to play a little bit of music.
These
when we come back,
nuts.
we're going to talk about Guy and how the sex change went.
Hey, man, it was lovely, man.
Now that he's a man,
I'm
how
on
does
the
it
other
feel
side.
to have woman inside parts?
I fucked myself.
We back in the building, in the building.
Not only that we're back, we're black.
Oh, yeah. See,
Black to the future, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, man, do you feel uncomfortable?
No, he's
I
Trinidad.
never
He's
fuck around.
No,
Trini.
I
Trini.
don't.
Goodbye, Trini now.
And
Wait,
also,
wait.
besides just race,
the
to make
family.
me feel uncomfortable, it takes a
Yeah.
lot.
It likes a
I've
lot.
been trying to, like, the last time I was in Trinidad,
Family,
October
man.
2016, I was at a table with 2 cousins. My last name is Hernandez. My one cousin's last name is Wong, and the other one is a Rampasad, and we're all related by blood, straight up and down. So,
Harumpasad.
yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that is. I try to act like I
That's
do.
Indian. Indian.
Wait.
Like red dot.
Like red
I-
dot.
I- I-
No,
dot,
yeah,
dot.
dot,
Okay,
dot.
I thought it was
Yo,
You got a dot on your forehead
Or
too.
dot, dot,
Or
dot.
dot, dot.
Yeah.
we back in the building. Yo,
Hamburger
this is
ketchup.
Savage.
You gotta
This is Savage AF. I'm Shang.
Black Pedro.
And we are here with our 2 guests. Let me tell you something right now. I love the fact we got to do this show because we got to talk about some of the history of really not only comedy, but how black comics that became household names basically came through this man's room, and he made it possible for a lot of us to get
that
our
work.
jokes
I
off.
want to
that
see
work
this
To be
documentary.
honest. No, that's the
Yeah.
truth. That's to get our shit off.
Yeah.
Because some clubs literally would not book us, even if we were really, really funny.
Well, here's the other part of it is when I first got to LA, man, and I was doing, I started doing stand up, but I wasn't, of course, in the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, or the Improv. And so when white people would ask me, you're a comedian, when can I come see you at the Comedy Store? And I was like, well, and it was like, oh, you're not the Comedy Store. So they made you feel like you weren't a real comic if you weren't in the
Right.
Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv. So I said, you know what? One day I'm gonna make
Get
that
in
change for not just me, but for black comedians. So we deserve to be on Sunset with everybody else. And so that was one of my goals, man, is to break down that barrier, man. And,
Right.
And the sad part is that even black people who were regulars at the Comedy Store was upset that I brought Fat Tuesdays to the Comedy Store. Because the sad thing about black people is sometimes when we get into some white shit,
We don't want to share our
we want
white
to be
people.
the only ones.
Yeah, we don't want to share our
So
white people.
so
The
they
privilege.
and I know
I'm
those
selfish
comics,
with my white people.
yes. And,
I
and,
like
and they
them.
would walk around LA in front of other black comedians like, oh, I got a spot at the store. I got a spot at the store. I got to go to the Improv tonight. And then throw it in your face without really kind of mastering it in your face.
That's
So
why
then- so-
I used to wait till they turn their back and just kick them. Kick them in their back.
Right out into the street.
Nothing makes a man go, damn, did he just kick me in my back?
Right in the small of your
Damn.
back.
Yeah, and then you push them with the leg and they just
Yeah.
fall. And the strongest dude will go down if you hit him in the small of his back.
Yeah, small as
So,
back.
but-
Right where that tattoo is.
Yeah.
The stamp. Hit him in the stamp.
There's a stamp there for
Yo,
you.
man,
but
the
I want
stamp.
to let you know.
Nigga, I'm gonna hit you in the stamp, nigga. I'm gonna stump you in the stamp.
Stamp. You ever
I'ma
been stamp
stump you in
stomped?
the stamp.
You listen to
Stamp stomp.
you listen to
We're in the
Savage.
ER,
we got another stamp stomp here.
Another stamp stop.
Breaker
The
one now.
5160. We have a 5160.
We got a stamp stop here.
Make sure.
You know they got Israelites down
All
at the
right.
comedy club stamp stomping now. Get them now.
Make sure you download the app on Dash for Dash Radio, Dash Comedy. Make
Dash
sure you
Comedy.
and you can listen to the show Wednesdays.
No, is Dash Comedy a separate app or
It's a
it's
channel.
within
It's
there?
a channel
channel.
within.
Channel, right, I know that.
I just started it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to make it clear for the listeners.
Yeah,
'cause
of
I'm
course.
on Dash Comedy as
Yeah.
well with my other show.
Right.
But I just wanted to make sure that the listeners, because
The
sometimes
listeners.
some people went to public school. And we all
And
talk
didn't
at
do
once
that,
sometimes.
and
so
then
we're all-
skip
Yeah,
that.
like they
Oh,
act like
yeah.
they know, but they don't know. But
and also
listen
hit
to
a
us
police
on
officer.
Dash Comedy though. Listen to us on Dash Comedy. Download the app, and also you can go to the website. You can go not to the
iTunes.
website. You can go to iTunes. Now this show will be airing after it airs live.
Right.
Okay, that's one. And iTunes.
So you get the leftovers.
You basically get iTunes.
Yeah.
You can download it on iTunes and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe,
It's like
subscribe,
day-old dick.
subscribe,
You get day-old
subscribe.
dick. Like, you fuck
Anybody
one
that
girl.
subscribes, I'm telling you right now,
Second
we're
girl
definitely
dick.
going to have gifts for you and all
Day-old
kind of
dick.
shit. We're trying to make sure you subscribe so you get downloaded.
And-
now,
and-
I
and
wanted to,
on
look at
iTunes-
my,
on
I
iTunes,
look
too.
Like,
Hey,
I look
make
like I
sure-
just woke up.
Make sure on iTunes, guys, that you guys
at
give
that
us
guy.
those stars. All right, we need stars. Like 10 stars.
Yeah,
I know
get
they
that
only
out.
let you
Okay,
give
some horrible
5,
looking.
but Nick, we need stars.
But if you like the show, if you don't like the show, then give us our mini star. We just want you to be honest. Give us 5 fucking stars. And we'll
Don't.
feature
I was
you.
like, don't listen to guy. He's not part of the show.
And stump you in the stamp.
Stomp you in the stamp.
I will stamp your whole
If you
goddamn
don't-
profile.
If you don't, we will eat your kids. No, I'm kidding. We're vegetarians.
I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah.
A vegetarian.
I'm a vegetarian.
I've always enjoyed the texture and
Yeah,
aroma.
but only if you shop at Whole Foods. You shop at regular ass grocers. There ain't no Publix or Kroger
Vons.
or
Right.
Vons or
He's an organic
Aldi or
vegetarian.
Food for Less pussy. I want some organic.
What was that line you see? It's,
Maybe Trader Joe's.
Shang last night. What was it? Deep tissue vaginal massage.
Yes,
to the
I like to
chick in
give
the
women
front row.
a deep tissue
Vagina massage.
vagina
To give the
massage.
girls-
A lot of issues you need to work out.
I need a
Fucking
lot
deep
of shit I
tissue.
need to get together.
I mean, you really need counseling.
I know right now, man.
That's
I'm
what
going
the show is.
I got so
This
much
doesn't
shit going on
count.
in
No,
my
it's not
personal
worth it.
life.
The whole
does
room
not
was
count.
like,
personal life.
and then everyone laughed.
My personal life is absolutely in
Fucked up.
turmoil. It's fucked up.
Since I've known you.
But stand up,
I've been knowing Shane for 25 fucking years. And I remember I had to come pick you up one time. We was going to some show, I think out in Rancho Cucamonga, and you lived off the 110 or something in Pasadena.
No, that wasn't me.
It was you. You lived
I didn't
somewhere.
live no, I didn't.
Where'd you live one time? We all went to a show together. Me, you, I think Rodney Winfield, maybe.
Yeah, that was that
Okay,
was
wherever
long
it was, or you came to pick me up something. But I was like, and you were telling us your issues in the car back then. I was like, this motherfucker crazy.
I got some problems, but but
No,
you
you
know
got-
what?
you-
But on stage, I'm fine.
He works it out.
I'm good.
No, it doesn't. Don't enable this motherfucker.
Don't-
See, he think
don't
he's
do it.
fine, but
But
we
I'm
see
not.
it. We
But
see it.
but
this
I want
is actually an intervention, Shang.
Yeah, you know what? Settle down, all of y'all. I'm not. Look, I'm not getting in the car. I'm not going to the rehab place.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to fight me to get me in the van. But I want to let you know, Jeff. I wanted to make sure that you let them know about the show and let them know the information and the website they can go to.
Big Jeff Fury.
What kind of hair do you have, man? I'm trying to figure
guys.
your
Jeff
hair
Fury.
out, man. Is it black? Is it what? Is it Tongan or is it? it's something. Is it Bruno Mars?
It's Bruno Mars.
It's
It's
something.
natural,
It's
natural
nappy,
berry.
But I'm black.
Yeah,
So-
but it's something.
He
Something's
looks
going on with
Jamaican.
that shit.
He does. You mentioned it, but he looks specifically like the flashback of The Rock when in the movie Central Intelligence.
Yes, that's what I said.
Like when he was singing,
Yes, you took, that's what I was trying to get to earlier. That's exactly it.
When evaluating the man's hair, you're also forgetting age. Shang is 83 years old.
Fucking 83.
So
When
you know,
you're 83,
things
though,
happen.
What do you mix with?
Nothing.
No, nigga.
I'm really not.
You cut with something, motherfucker. You like crack.
Jamaican.
Nigga. You ain't all
We all
pure.
are.
You ain't pure. You ain't pure.
Jamaican.
You ain't pure. You cut with something.
Look, she got the picture.
But I'm not that big.
Yes, you are.
I am not that big.
Yes, he is.
I'm not
That
physically
is
that big.
that is Shang.
That is with my hair out.
Shang.
It's the whole look. It's the look. It's the whole look, though.
Yes.
The
Never
puffy-
gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
No.
That was a great goddamn movie. I enjoyed that motion picture.
It actually was pretty funny.
No, but Jeff, let them know about the show.
That's funny.
Hey guys, Jeff Fury here.
Don't ever shave.
Years ago, I started a show called the Jeff Comedy Jam after being inspired by Def Comedy. 'Cause I used to watch that when I was a kid.
There you go.
And then Shang used to do my show back in Ventura and Santa Barbara years ago. And now, this coming Tuesday, we're going to be at Sycamore Tavern at the Dojo of Comedy.
Okay.
With me, Shang, Black Pedro, and my roommates, Camila Cleese and Stacia Patwell and Robert Zabata. So it's going to be a really good show.
You live
Tickets
with
are
all
only
those
$5.
people?
No, I live with Stacia Patwell and Camila Cleese.
He's
gonna say.
47 and his
Yeah.
roommate.
No, he's.
You didn't get
You
a
must be a
cease and
comedian.
desist from Russell Simmons with Jeff Comedy Jam? You didn't
No,
get
I
a-
did not. No one said it.
Not
in, fact,
yet.
in fact, people like the name for some reason. They think it's catchy, so I kept it.
So
They don't
Like
realize.
Russell had his hands full.
yeah, Russell
Russell's
was a little busy.
Russell's a little busy. He got some other shit.
He was in his own jam at that point.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to watch us, if you guys
jam right now.
if you guys want
Hope
to
it
come
gets
see
out,
this
though.
show live, we'll be me, Shang, and Black Pedro from Savage as Fuck will be at the Sycamore Tavern on Sunset Boulevard this coming Tuesday,
Yeah.
the 22nd at 8 o'clock at the Dojo of Comedy. It's the top floor of Sycamore Tavern.
Sunset and La Brea is the
Yeah.
closest cross street.
I gotta say, the
Okay.
guys running the room there, they're running it like a real club. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw a show there. We saw
No,
a show there
you thought
last
that
week.
too?
Yeah.
We saw Burt Kreischer and Whitney
And there was,
Cummings
Joe
and Dan
Rogan,
Cook
Dan
and
Cook,
Joe
yeah.
C
Rogan.
Boogie might be there. C Boogie
C
might be
Boogie.
there.
You gonna come? You gonna come?
I'll come.
That'd be
We
nice.
can make
Please.
it a savage as fuck.
Yeah.
So
check
make
us
sure you
out,
come
Kathy.
out.
You just said come and
So,
fuck in
yes,
the same
come check
sentence?
us out.
You
We're
did
there
say
on
come and
Tuesday.
fuck, which made me a little hard.
And if you haven't seen Shang Forbes live yet, you're missing out.
Yeah.
I've been doing well. I ain't going front. Things are, at least
boy
stand up
funny.
wise.
The boy funny.
Stand up wise.
Don't be modest.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying I've been doing well on stage, but everything else, I'm a shit show.
His life is in
right.
shambles, but
for
comedy.
The woman
For
I
your
love is
benefit.
gone. My kids and
if
yeah, I've been. It's crazy. The woman I
Stop,
love.
Shane. Leave it.
Shang, do you ever do
Don't cry.
autobiographical comedy?
If
Do you
anyone
ever
wants to
go
buy
up and talk
tickets
about your
too-
life or no?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Neither do I. I mean, I do
But-
tell stupid stories about my life, but
Sorry,
nothing
if anyone
fucking
wants to buy
personal.
tickets to you can go to bit.ly.com. So
But-
bit.ly/Dojo Jam.
And we're gonna put the link on.
Yeah, we'll put the link on and
Yeah.
stuff too. And then Shang's headlining the show. He's gonna be closing it out, rocking the crowd. And like I said, if you guys haven't seen Shang yet, you're missing out.
You
And he
missing
will be
out.
actually
Can you-
dressed
can you dress
better
like-
than he is today.
Yeah, like, like the
I'm
Rock.
kind of- yeah. It's
bring your
radio. I'm
helmet.
allowed to be casual.
Bring your helmets because Shang, you never know when Shang is going to jump off stage and start whooping somebody's ass.
Right.
Bring
just
your
in
helmet.
case. Just in case.
He's a hoe.
But no, I when we took the break, I wanted to talk about the and
He's
me
the
and Guy we were
nicest,
talking.
angriest comic ever.
We were talking about.
He'll help you
Stupid.
and beat your ass
Yeah,
at the
look,
same time.
hey man, I'm sorry you crippled, but
The
I'm
ass-
doing this because I love you.
The ass
He'll
was
beat
in
your
the-
ass and then show you how to post it and tell people that he. that
and
he's
this is
an
how you
asshole.
actually put it out
Get
there.
your followers.
I wanted to ask Guy, and I want to ask you too. I want to ask you, Jason. What do you do social media? Because we were literally talking about this.
Right.
Social media. You think social media has basically taken over the funny?
Yeah, but you know,
Like,
it's
is
a
it
new
more?
medium.
Is it more important than the funny?
It's not, but it depends on who you are. If you want the flash and you want the attention, then social media, yes. If you want to pay attention to the craft and not that the other guys aren't or girls aren't, is if you want to like fuck that and build your craft first, then it's always going to be about the material and all about you have more longevity and more versatility when you are crafting what you do, no matter what it is, whether it be
Right.
music, whether it be comedy, whether it be acting, whether it
But
be art, whatever.
it just seems like I mean, a
I-
lot of the younger because you're younger.
I
so.
think
Suck at
I
social
think the
media. I wanna
cream
be
always
better.
rises to the top.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
If you're good, if you're talented, whether you're on Instagram, whether you do stand up, you will find a way to make it.
Say that to all the people that's at the Rucker that can play basketball better than NBA.
Right.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
what
No,
you
the
just
thing is,
said.
you can have a big
That is
social
both of
media
y'all full of
following
shit.
and then
Good
get a
point.
couple
This is bullshit.
spots at clubs because you have a big social media. But if you don't bring it
If you bomb.
on stage, you're not going to get asked back to the club.
And that's what's happening. And here's my thing. Yeah. And I say this every time I do an interview and ask my stand up. Whenever I'm on stage, I try my best to give at least 200%. And I tell you why. Because I feel like I'm carrying a torch for live stand-up comedy.
Right.
Because you never know who's coming to a comedy club for the first time in their life. And I went there first. And if it's my show, got to a comedy show. If it's my show, then I want you to have a great experience. So you can come back next week and see Jason. Come back next week and see Pedro. Come back the other week and see Shang or Kevin or whoever. But I want to keep the torch for live stand-up comedy alive. And what's happening sometimes is that comics go on stage and bullshit that stage time.
Yeah.
And somebody's coming to a live show for the first time and their first impression is now ass. Now we lost a potential live customer forever. So
You're like, I went to the comedy show and I had a horrible time. And
So I've heard about some of
the
these
comic
shows
was standing
that are-
up there playing checkers.
I heard about some of these comedy shows that are filled with the social media comics, which is great. I ain't mad at that. But
They
then what's
draw,
happening
though.
is
They do draw.
But what's happening is the product, some of them, not
yeah.
all of them, some of them, the product is not there yet. And they're twerking for 20, 30 minutes. They're not showing up on time. They're mad late. And the thing about it is you got to realize when you got a 7 o'clock show at a comic club, okay, the doors open an hour before the show at
Right.
most legitimate comic clubs. So the doors open at 6 o'clock. White people get there at 5:50, right?
Right,
yeah.
So you're sitting there from 6
hours.
o'clock to 7 o'clock for the show to start.
Right.
That's an hour. A comedy show shouldn't be more than an hour and a half, 2 hours anyway. But then you show up an hour late. So
Because
now
there's
someone got
social
there.
media,
Someone
because they're
got there
allowed
at
to do that.
6. Someone got there at 6.
Yeah.
The show starts at 7. It doesn't start. So now they're there. Now you get there at 8.
No.
That's
no.
2 hours
No,
of
but
nothing.
check this out, because the
So
social
have
media
respect
comics,
for-
they feel like I'm a big name.
Yes.
You watch me playing video games at the house.
Right.
I'm allowed to do what the fuck
but
I
how
want to do.
beautiful is it to see that
No.
person go up on stage and bomb?
No, it's not.
okay,
Or
but,
to see them-
but to
Hey,
guys,
but-
to guys,
And I'm not hating.
No, no.
I'm
But
just
here's the
saying.
thing.
But to
and-
Guy's point, like that
Have
waters
respect.
waters down the brand of comedy too.
Right.
Right. For those people that come and think, oh, I'm going to see a comedy show with
Yeah.
the quote unquote.
Right.
No, when they see somebody who's not a comedian.
Yeah.
in our format, trying to do that, it ruins our brand.
Some of them are not even comics.
That's what I'm saying. Most of them are.
No, there's a difference. No. You
Or a
said
lot of them.
comedian.
No,
I
no.
said comic. There's a difference between a
Okay.
comic and a comedian.
I got
What's
you.
the difference?
A comics, and this is not my quote. I'm paraphrasing somebody else. A comic says funny things. A comedian makes things funny.
Says things funny. Timmy Rogers
Make
told me
things
that.
funny. So it's like a comic is someone who, you know,
Right.
and no knock on either one because there's time to be both. But a comic is goes up and like say most impressionists are comics. They say funny things or like a Carrot Top. They say funny things. But comedians, we open up and you get to come inside of our life. You see our dark secrets, our pain, our story. We tell our stories.
The dead hookers
And
that Pedro has left
the drug
across the
problems,
country.
the family
I didn't know they were
issues.
dead. I just walked away.
And some of them are not either one. Some of them not even a comic or a comedian.
Yeah.
So
A personality.
a
I mean,
personality.
Jason
so,
with his pedophilia. I mean, it happens.
He brings
Don't put that
he
on
brings
that
it
man.
into
He
his.
brings it into
I
his
open
act.
up
but to
about
your
it.
point, Jason, too, I love comedy so much. I don't want to see anybody bomb. This comics I do not like. Now, when they bomb, it's funny as fuck. I'm gonna laugh.
Right.
But because I'm such a fan of stand-up
Who
comedy,
don't you like, man? I know.
lot
I
of
could name a comic right now.
But because I'm a fan of
Names
stand-up
5
comedy,
of them.
I feel like when a comic bombs, it's a black eye to live comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't
Fair
want
enough.
Okay, but
That's
okay,
why I
let me
hate
ask you
these
this.
guys who run bringer shows and put up
But
all
bringer
this
shows
trash.
are the nature of the beast. bringer
but
shows are
this
the nature
is
of the beast. You
terrible.
can't say that, but they're the nature of the beast. Just like social media.
Be a promoter
Just wait.
and do your own fucking promoter.
Okay,
let
but-
an artist be an artist, man.
Okay, but Just Hilarious can outdraw all of us.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the truth. So obviously,
But it's
social
not about
media.
Draw. It's not.
It
only
is about draw.
But your
End of the day,
career.
these
It's about
clubs.
draw. You get
it's
you
about
get
draw.
six. You
That's
getting
some-
6 stacks.
You got to balance it out, though.
But what if they?
The
but if
comedy
they
clubs-
follow
comedy
through?
club-
60,
Otherwise-
we getting 60 racks, goddamn it. Hey,
It is about
do
draw.
your thing. I ain't mad.
It,
You know,
it's partly about draw, I think. But I think for the
Just Hilarious is not as
thing
strong
is
as.
she's never gonna
There's a
go
comic
on
named
tour
Dominique
and-
that's
Right.
is stronger
No,
than
So
her.
the longevity.
And I
is-
met her.
stronger
I
than
met. I was okay. So I made it to like the just pre you get on Wild and Out. They call it the workout sessions, where you're doing the show. You're with the cast members. And once again, this is no hate. God bless anybody who made it on the show.
Absolutely,
But
man.
there's this kid.
But
He's an Instagram guy. He's this little gay kid. He puts a towel on his head and he basically contorts his body and makes weird noises. That's his thing. Okay. Once again, God bless him. Okay. But he made it on the show and he made it on 2 episodes and that was it for that season. They didn't, because it's
One trick
It's a
pony.
shtick.
you
a
can only do
limited
so
shtick.
much.
It's
You know?
not.
Well,
yeah,
if he
but
works on the rest of his acting,
Yeah, that too.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Because you can be both, right?
You can be both.
You can be comic and
The
comedian.
fuck
Like
out
I
of
said,
Exactly.
here.
I'm both.
Yeah. So that's
Wait a
that's what
minute.
makes
Wait a minute.
you-
He got a towel on and he just the fuck out of here for real.
Look him up.
Shang
I
gonna
can't
look him
remember
up
his
and
name,
fight
but
Fuck out of here.
Was it
If
Hachi from Johnny Quest? That's what
if
it sounded like.
I know. If I see that dude in the streets,
Wait, why the
I'm
towel?
beating the
Why
towel
the
off.
I
of
don't
it.
know. I
That's
don't
why I said
know.
Hachi.
Fuck
Johnny
that
Quest.
dude.
You guys know Boom Gang?
Fuck that dude.
Who?
Yeah, y'all ain't familiar with Boom
I do
Gang?
I do that towel thing every
You guys
day.
don't know.
And you're not
Wait,
on Wild
That's how I
This is
start my
bullshit.
day.
Who are we
you
supposed to
guys, you guys don't know Boom Gang?
No, who's
Boom Gang is a guy. You see his shit, and you're like, "This is terrible," but then you can't look away. Basically, he
Like
fucking
Jackass.
He figured it out.
He this is Boom Gang is a guy I will not shit on because I honestly, in a way, it's performance art. Like the
What do you
Jackass
say?
guys.
What do
I'm
you say?
gonna get to it.
Boom Gang?
Boom Gang.
Boom Gang.
Boom Gang.
Boonk.
Boom Gang is a guy who in 6 months got 4 million followers. He now lives in a fucking mansion in Calabasas, and all he did, he would steal shit. He would film himself stealing
I know,
shit.
and just run.
And just run
Yes,
and go,
yeah,
Boom
yeah,
Gang,
yeah,
whole
yeah.
lot of gang shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I see
Boom
that.
Gang is a fucking star.
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
a Boom Gang t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey man.
Boom
Yeah,
Gang,
man.
yeah.
He figured it out. And you can't be mad at those who
You
figured
can't
it out,
because the
man.
thing is, because you know what the thing is, as morally wrong as stealing shit is,
Right.
it's performance art.
Yes, it is,
like,
man.
And he would get creative with it. He went into Dunkin' Donuts. He climbed over the counter, got a whole row of donuts, ran off,
And
he,
filmed himself running.
And filmed
Yeah.
himself running. He stole a dog. He went to they were like, how much is it? Like, well, it's a purebred, so it's $2,000. And it was like, he's like, oh, $2,000. Runs away. He's like, Boom Gang, whole lot of gang shit. He's amazing.
And
Does
he's
he return it?
filming himself.
Right,
Filming
okay,
that's
himself.
kinda funny.
He does it.
He's obviously
filming
though,
himself.
he's not obviously stealing these things, right? He has to be
No,
returning
he
them
was
to them.
he's been arrested. He's going to
He's
jail.
been- yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's
I'm
got
like,
arrested a couple
there's got to be.
he's
like,
been- he's
So
okay.
he won't, but so he won't be touring.
there's got to be
right.
some consequence
not
for
a
some of
stand-up.
this.
He's not a
He's
stand-up
not a
comic.
Thomas Art.
stand-up, but he made a shit ton of
This guy
money.
with the tattoos all over
Yes,
his face?
yeah, Boom Gang.
Yeah.
Whole lot of gang shit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you can't be mad at those who figure it out.
Matter of fact,
Wait.
pull
Did
up.
he figure it out?
Did he really figure it out?
If you
He
go,
stole some shit.
hold up.
He's going to jail.
Melting my head.
If you go to YouTube and pull up the one where he's at Subway sandwich shop, just pull that up.
Boom
It's
gang.
genius.
Subway is advertising for the show. They give me that money.
By the
You
way-
said sandwich shop.
gotta do
That
this
has a
off.
I
train.
said,
in the ground or
Subway
something.
to the one train.
Yeah.
Talking about the New York City public
Yeah, don't-
transportation system.
Say that
But-
again, John.
Don't-
Sorry, if you're
His mic
driving, if you're driving and listen to Dash Radio right now, please don't listen. Please don't
Don't
look at
watch
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait till you're done
YouTube.
driving.
He's telling me
driving.
to, but I'm not
Hey,
going
if
to.
you can pull
just-
it off, pull it off. Shit.
And
But-
guys, just to reiterate what we were talking about earlier, you know, a lot of these clubs, they forget, they're so focused on, oh, how many people did you get? How many
Right.
people did you get? It's like, you know what matters even more than how many people you get to one show is how many people come back.
Back.
Right.
Exactly.
So if you have a fire show, I'd rather have a fire show with 50 people in the audience that had a great time, say, hey, we're going to come back.
Right.
Versus a room full of
Yeah.
100 people
Five
and
shitty
maybe 10
comics.
people, with 6
Yeah.
ringers, and they'll never come back. They'll never come back because they were there to see their friend perform for
I've
5
seen
minutes.
bringer shows where their friends are not even laughing.
Right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
your
The
family.
motherfuckers you
Because
brought
they
ain't laughing.
knew it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
going to be funny. They
Yeah.
just wanted to see.
They
Like-
just brought people. They didn't bring
Right.
people who like
Who
to
just
laugh.
booed me?
Charlie
I'm your
Sheen. Remember when
father.
Charlie
You're
Sheen did a
horrible.
stand-up tour?
No.
And he had no material?
Who?
No.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen
Oh,
and
yeah.
sold
Yeah.
out.
When he quit
Right.
Was it Tiger
2.5
Blood shit?
Men,
Yeah.
and he was going through that whole Tiger Blood thing, and he
And
sold out a
AIDS.
whole goddamn
And people were
tour.
walking out.
Because
All
people
these
want to see a
cities-
shit show.
Exactly.
They don't care
You're
if,
right.
if he's funny. They
And
want to
he-
see a shit
right,
show.
and
They
he
wanna
had
see somebody
no material
melt down.
whatsoever.
But that's his
But
thing.
but he's
Yeah.
a
He
star.
knows.
Yeah.
But no, you saying like just the reason I brought up Just Hilarious, she's on a TV show right now with Lil Rel. And everything that got her there was Instagram. So I like part of me is like part of me is like, I don't want to, totally fuck with that. But part of me is like, well,
She
that's
figured
what
it out.
she figured it out. I
figured
gotta
it
figure
out.
out what she's figuring out.
Right. Jasmine Brown's figured it out. Miss Pretty Ricky is on the road with me opening up, and she's teaching me more about the social media thing. And she has both. She's great social media skills, and she's a very,
talented.
very funny stand-up
That's
too.
it.
Clean too, and fun.
Right.
And great 1-2 punch because she goes on before me and gets them ready. And then I come on stage with my smut and darkness and just twisted sense of humor. It's a great combination, and it's just so. You can't be mad at those who figure it out. Like a lot of old school rappers are mad at the guys who call it mumble rap, whatever. Hey, these young cats figured it out.
Making money.
Right?
Yeah.
They figured it out and they're making money, and you can't hate on that.
No, you can't.
Well,
you
I
can't
mean,
do
you
that.
can.
You just don't.
And I will.
If you're gonna be mad at it, you be mad at the people who follow it, who support it.
Yeah,
you know what I
but
mean?
that's
Because
the same
the
shit.
person
but
doing
it's
it
the same
is
thing.
They figured
But there's
it
a
out.
certain point, like I stopped. I used to people say, well, with Trump, just understand his followers.
He figured it
now,
out.
guess what?
Fuck him, but he figured it
Fuck
out.
him.
He won
sure
the
did.
game.
And no, fuck
Yeah.
him and fuck his followers.
Yeah,
There's a certain-
I'm with you, but
There's
he
certain
figured
people
it
you can't
out.
like. If the boat's sinking, or if the boat's sinking, there's certain motherfuckers I'm gonna throw out first.
Dude, we figured it out.
Yeah.
Where we are right
Yeah.
now, we may not be with the 100 million followers following us and stuff, but we are successful. I've been a successful comedian for 25 years. I figured something out. Am I the funniest motherfucker out there? Yes. Am I the funniest motherfucker ever to touch the stage on the microphone of a comedian? Yes.
Probably, yeah.
So I figured it out. It's just that other people haven't figured it out.
right, right. And you're educating them one mic at a
But
time.
no, we figured something out.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah, of
working
course.
as a stand-up,
We
paying my
figured
bills.
something out.
Right.
So, whatever. Let whoever figured it out better than us or more times than us, then they figured it out.
faster.
But we're still allowed
There's
to
enough-
threaten
faster
them.
than us.
Are
And
we
there's
at least
enough room.
hold up? Are we at least
There's enough
allowed to
room
threaten
out
them?
there.
Can we at least
No,
threaten them?
man, let them live,
Can we just
man.
let? No, I'm saying, can we just say something
There's
to
no
them?
I got
need to.
two
'cause
man.
Like I said, the
I'm-
cream always rises
Yeah.
to the
top.
top.
And so you know what? Sometimes shit rises to the top.
Shit floats and shit does float.
Yeah,
does.
for a second, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it
But then it
dissolves.
what do that shit want?
Yeah, I just want to
wait a minute, hold on. Let's back up. Who has actually watched shit long enough to see it dissolve like that?
Yeah.
You two sick fucks. How do you know it dissolves? I've never watched
You know
shit
what?
like, you never watched this shit dissolve.
I just went
I
through a
meant their
bad breakup.
careers.
I have a lot of
Huh?
time
I meant
on
their
my hands.
careers dissolve.
No, but we said shit. We was talking about shit.
Well, one
Right,
would
but I mean-
assume.
Well, no, you know
They're
what
no-
it is.
You can no longer see them.
You ever-
and
no, no.
therefore they are dissolved.
You ever had a half flush where you thought it all flushed and then you come back at
comes
the end of
back
the
up.
day
See, there's
to,
a metaphor
to go pee
in there
and then you
somewhere
open up
too.
and you're like, oh
There's
shit.
a metaphor more in
and
there.
there's some dissolved shit in there because
Yeah.
it was there all
No,
day.
it's
Wait a
called-
minute.
it's
How did
called
we
chili.
get
I didn't
to how
watch.
did we get
It
to
just-
this?
It's
The
called
show
chili.
dissolved
This
the
is a
shit.
cooking. We've turned into a cooking show.
Yeah,
just-
we
you
was
just
talking
stir
about
it. You just
political.
stir
We
it.
was talking about the political ramifications of tax income, and then all of a sudden shit floats.
Well, in
Shit
this,
happens.
this administration, you always gonna end up talking about shit.
Shit,
floats.
you gonna have to. You gonna have to
That's
talk about
true.
shit.
Floating
Hand in
But
hand.
right now,
bullshit.
he's trying to make us go to a nuclear war. He don't give a fuck. He's
Kim
gonna
Jong
fuck.
Un threatened him today with something. I
He's,
saw a
they're
blurb.
not going to work it out. It's not going to be
They're
good.
not. I'm with you on that, Shane.
And Trump is the worst unless if he don't have that teleprompter, he's talking shit about teleprompters. He's horrible.
But you know what though? He's horrible both ways. Cause look at him read that fucking teleprompter. It's like
Yes.
watching Fantasia read Shakespeare. Goddamn. It's the fucking worst shit.
Watching
in the world.
Mayweather.
I personally
I
think
know.
Dusty
Mayweather
Houston
Stay out
is a
Mayweather.
lesbian.
Stay out
He's a
Mayweather.
total-
Yeah.
That's my guy.
That's your homie.
Okay.
all right.
Mayweather.
Now
We
check
go
this
ahead.
out. I'm gonna let you know something.
savage
This show flew by. I'm gonna tell you something. Usually the show it flew by, and we
Yeah,
got,
this was fun.
Cause
y'all.
shit floats.
Cause shit floats, and sometimes
flies when you're having
shit
fun.
goes right down the river fast. So let people know where you're going to be performing at, and then let people know
got
what
it.
you're up to, and your social media, because we were just talking about it.
Hit him with Jason Scoop.
I'm Jason Scoop. You can find me at Jason Scoop on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. May 26th and 27th, I'm at Caroline's on Broadway in New York City.
Yep.
This
Caroline's.
Sunday for my New Yorkers, I'm at the National Black Theater in Harlem, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be
Yeah.
at. God, let them know where you're going to be at.
This weekend, assume this airs soon.
Yes.
This weekend on the 18th and 19th, I'll be in Fayetteville, North Carolina at
Oh.
Volta Space performing for the troops.
Wow.
Nice.
Awesome.
Shout out to all our military out there. My dad, rest in peace, ex-military. My older brother, not Joe, retired Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army vet. So yeah, so check me out. But follow me. I have 2 followers on all of my social media networks.
That's
And
a lie.
Can you just follow me and be 3? It's at Guy Torry,
Yeah.
GUYTORRY.
Well, we got
I
3
love to have you
listeners.
as my friend. And my listeners, when I come to your city, you get free. My followers, you get free tickets. Like you inbox me, tell me, boom, I live in the city that you performing in. I got you.
All right, cool. Pedro.
Y'all, we already mentioned earlier. You can catch me this coming Tuesday, May 22nd,
22nd.
at Sycamore
Sycamore
Tavern at the Dojo Comedy.
Dojo.
Yeah, man, we're gonna kick some ass on that show. Also, man, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Black Pedro. Listen, I'm so excited. I am 2 people away from having 1,000 followers, y'all. 998. So I'm having a sale,
More than
man.
me, I got 2 followers.
The next 2
I'm
followers,
following
man.
right now.
I'll follow you all.
The next 2 followers, you get an automatic follow back. And
I have more than that, and my profile is private.
okay,
Wow.
well, the thing is,
Wow.
I'm
Thank
just
you,
saying.
little brain.
So you're part.
How about some of my
Here-
followers
here-
follow
boom.
Black Patreon?
Here's the thing, Cassie. You like people. I don't.
I
so
do like
that's why.
people.
See,
People
Cassie
like
goes.
me.
She makes friends. I stand in the corner and stare at people.
And Cassie's looking all
then-
tan.
I stare at people as I touch myself.
I stand in the sun.
But yeah, we're going to be at the show. Jeff?
Jeff Urea or Odea, depending on who's president. Is,
Or Uriah. If you ask Shang, it's Uriah.
I called you Uriah.
JEFFURREA, Urea.
Urea.
Sycamore Tavern Tuesday, and I'll be at Ventura Harbor Comedy Club this
Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Follow
And-
me.
Yeah,
Follow my
let-
private profile.
Yeah, now you got 2 different ones because the
Okay, my private
Which one?
one is Twinkie.
Okay, that's the one I got.
TWNKEE, no I, because I'm yellow on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah.
And then Dane Comedy Live is my
you don't
show
That's the-
series.
yeah.
It's
You
a
look
real
peach.
Old. I know. I went to Mexico. And then Dane Comedy Live. I'm actually starting a show in LA. A monthly
Okay.
show at the
Uh-oh.
I think at the Laugh Factory coming up soon.
A lot
Yeah.
of thinking. There's a lot of thinking.
I'm
We
shopping.
gonna have some. Okay.
I'm shopping.
Oh,
You're shopping.
I would love the belly room too. But we'll talk concepts. We talk.
We talk.
I got a lot of room in my goddamn belly.
Yeah, and make sure you follow me, Comedian Shang. It's Comedian SHANG on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on the gram for sure. Also, I'll be in Fort Wayne, Indiana this weekend at the Fort Wayne Comedy Club, and then I will be at the Improv, and I'll be at the Sycamore
Tavern.
Sycamore Tavern. Then I'll be at the Ontario Improv. I'll be there, so make sure you come any night. I'll get you on free passes at the Ontario
Go.
Improv.
I
Good
love
question,
Ontario.
Shang. Is there any other Shangs? Because you got comedian Shang. It's like an actor Shang or fireman
There's
Shang.
Shang
or
Wang.
policeman
There's a
Shang.
comedian Shang
Shang
Wang.
Wang?
There is a Shang
you were-
Wang.
you
Very
were-
different guy, though.
Very
You were
different.
different. You were Shang first.
He's
All
a
day.
Shang.
I'm just
Yeah,
Shang.
you're Shang.
Just Shang.
Just
Comedian
Just
Shang.
Shang.
And my website is I am Shang.
Right. Why
And
did
it's
you
my
do your
official
why
web-
didn't you do your why didn't you do your social media handles like I am Shang to keep it all
Because
consistent?
there was a martial arts company that was I am that same
Really?
thing.
You
Yep.
didn't because you're underscore or something like that? Some other
I
shit?
just
You
I
did it a
just
different way.
didn't do it.
I'm helping him out
Lazy
now.
fucking
I'm helping.
lazy.
Yeah, we're
we're getting
working
we're
on it.
working on
on
it. We're getting
consolidating.
Consistency.
But
Yes.
yeah, and I have a lot of
Old
people
fuck.
follow me. Yeah, I'm an
He has
old
so many
fuck.
profiles.
Yeah, he
I have a
does.
lot of profiles, and I'm
That's
working
why
on
you're
that.
angry. You just need one, man.
just
And a
need one.
hug
Just
and some
need one.
pussy.
Shang is wanted in
I would be
several
angry, too.
You need a
states.
Several
hug and
states.
some pussy. You need a hug and some
But
pussy.
thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys
for-
Thank you guys for listening to Savage AF. Remember, you can check us out on iTunes.
iTunes.
And you can listen to some of the past shows and the upcoming shows. Thank you so much. We're gonna holler
Follow
at you in
Guy
a bit.
Torry.
All right?
Follow Guy Torry.
Later.
Take anything away
Thank
from
you
the
guys.
day, follow Guy Torry.
Phone on silent, I know you phone. Robert Horry, my nigga. Got DDs in the laboratory, nigga. Got a project, bitch, yeah.